6 of the 2019 MotoOption SX Series live here on Start Your Systems TV. My name is Kellen Brower, and I'd like to welcome you all to Minneapolis for round number 6 of the series. I'm joined tonight by the one, the only, Chris Riesenberg. How are we doing tonight, Chris?
250 East hometown race. Let's go racing, baby.
It's going to be an awesome night of racing, as you mentioned. First round of East Coast tonight, and we're going to have a lot of storylines to follow in that 250 East series. Let's start off by going through a list of where they qualified tonight in that 250 East class and give you guys an idea of the names we're going to see out there. Surprise, surprise, fastest qualifier in the 250 East class, Josh Williams.
Steamer. Oh, it's not Bryce Whelan. He got passed at the last minute then.
Was it? Or does
Whelan is on top, 53.9.
I guess
Dropped
mine
her
hadn't
into the
loaded.
53s. Williams is at a 54.0, so obviously really close. Couple of fast mofos up in there.
Yeah, Edward Mora right behind them, also on a 54-second lap time. We got Phil Boll, Jack Klubine, Gunnar Fugler, Tyler Lang, Daniel Mills, Isaiah Dickerson, Logan Leitzel, all racing this 250 East series, and we're going to have to keep an eye on all of them tonight. Quickly jumping over to the 450 class real quick. Your fastest qualifier this evening was your defending Supercross champion Alexis Leclerc, 52.1, just edging out Walter Gebhardt, who was on a 52.3. Points leader Jack Haley, third fastest with Adam Holm and Colton Mitchell on his tail. Jeremy Smith ended up sixth fastest, excuse me. And the three-time winner this season, Jeremy Siebold, who missed out on the main event last week at San Diego, he was eighth fastest with a 53.1. So he's going to look to rebound after missing that main event and dropping to fourth in the standings.
Thank you very much.
Well, we have Mark Zeidler maybe joining us, but he's got some awesome lag. So Mark Zeidler, 2012 250 East Supercross champion, also going to be in the booth with us tonight, it sounds like, unless he has some significant lag issues. What I'm doing right now is taking you guys around this track real quick so you guys can take a look at it for yourself. And maybe, Chris, while I'm doing that, you want to tell me a little bit about this track and kind of some of the features we have on it. Oh.
Sorry, my quality is right out the window here.
Well, maybe Chris is not going to be here. Not sure what happened. Chris is...
Oh, it looks like my quality's picking back up. I don't know what happened there. Yeah, Discord's throwing a fit.
Interesting.
All right, we good now.
Okay, well, Chris is back. Mark sounds like he's back. Sounds like we're all here. And they're working on grabbing new IDs. But again, just running around this track real quick, showing you guys what it looks like from my perspective. But maybe, Chris, you can break it down a little further. What kind of track we're expecting tonight? What it's looking like out there?
A couple things to keep in mind. Quite a few split entries. I think every rhythm actually has a split entry in it. So hopefully we'll actually see multiple lines, or it's going to be really narrow one line for everyone. And I think we'll actually see the 250s struggle a little bit to get over some of the triples in the rhythms. Because the track's so high speed, a lot of flatter faces makes it tough for the 250s. And also, we'll be bumping just a touch the road settings going into the East Coast. So a few more ruts should develop on the racetrack tonight. Make it a little gnarlier later in the main events and even in the heat races. We're just going up by 0.1 on each number. So I think we run normally 0.5 and 0.3 for the heats, and then the main events I think we'll be at 0.6 and 0.4 tonight. So not a huge change, but a small change that could play into the racing action here as we go into the East Coast.
That's 20%. That is actually a pretty huge change when you consider it. You mentioned the flatter faces. My little bit of riding and watching, it seemed like a lot of riders were having more trouble with clipping the top of the jumps, not able to get down into the pocket between them to get acceleration. Is that by design? Is that something you were going for when you built the track, Chris?
The one thing that was just trying to keep the unrealistic lines down as much as possible. It is a really tricky layout with a couple of rollers going into the sections, and in particular the section after the finish, trying to balance that as well. You'll notice there's not much of a berm before the Supercross triple, which I think we'll see come into play all night. Reason being, making that rhythm before it multiple lines, allowing you to single into the inside of the corner and potentially make up some of that time versus landing in the berm locked in one line around that. So tried really hard to balance the rhythms and allow multiple lines, which should hopefully open passing options. And again, with the road being up a little more, hopefully, should be pretty solid.
Yeah, it's an interesting track for sure. It looks like, as you mentioned, we're going to see like quite a few different options that these guys will be able to use tonight. But for the first round of the East Series, I don't know. Like, I'm kind of curious to see whether this like kind of a technical track is going to give us a surprise winner in this 250 East division, or if we're going to see some of the same guys like the Isaiah Dickersons, the Tyler Langs, and of course fastest qualifier Bryce Whelan end up at the front of the field. We're going to get a good indication of where these guys will be in just a second, though. We're going to get that 250 East heat number 1 underway. And Chris, maybe you know a little bit more about the riders that are going to be lining up on the gate tonight. Can you maybe give us like a favorite you have, or where you think this series is going to stand before we get started?
I think you're thinking I have way more intel than I do. Honestly, I don't know, but I think you'll see the usual suspects. I mean, like the proven fast guys of the Josh Williams, the Bryce Whelans, even Dickerson obviously had some really good races last year. I was surprised to not see Tyler Lang near the top of the qualifying. He's obviously been very good on a 450, and I expected to see him further to the top in that 1 or 2 spot in qualifying. And he was good last year. I mean, if I remember right, there was the trio of himself, Devin Ryan, and Colby Eglin, who were all on the team last year, constantly battling around those podium positions. So I expected him to take maybe a step up and be kind of establish himself as the guy to beat. Didn't happen right away in qualifying, but we'll see when they go racing. He's obviously shown he can compete with the best in the game in that 450 class.
Right, and Mark, throwing it to you real quick. I mean, this is the series that you won 7 years ago, and you know what it takes to win this championship. So if you can kind of relive what went through your mind at the first round of the series back in 2012, what is going to be the mindset tonight? What are these guys trying to do? Are they just trying to survive? Is everybody going for the win? How do you approach the first round of the series for the East guys?
Yeah, the first round you're always extra nervous. You put a lot of preparation and work into it. So yeah, you really do go out there with the survival mindset. Unless you know that you're going to miss a week, like you got a vacation or something scheduled for work, you're just going to go out and send it. But generally speaking, you're just trying to get through that first round solid. You know, you're looking for that top 5, top 10. Kind of be in that window of where you expect yourself to finish, but there's no real expectation of winning or podiuming.
Yeah, the East Series is... Go ahead, Chris.
I was just going to go ahead and actually shift gears on you a little bit, and the question that actually is on my mind is how are the guys coming out of 250 West moving up into the 450 class going to change that championship race? We saw some heavy hitters not make the main event last week. Do the West Coast guys get in there more than the East Coast guys or less? What's going to happen there?
It's definitely a good call. We're going to, of course, see guys like Sean Klein, Craig Richards, Craig Leake stepping up to this 450 division as the series goes east. And they certainly have the speed and pace to get in there and kind of change up the dynamic of this 450 series. We saw, of course, Jeremy Seabolt not make the main last week at San Diego, really kind of shook up the whole championship dynamic. And maybe these guys can really throw a wrench into the plans for some of our top-tier riders in this 450 class tonight.
Going into the championship, Mark, on the 250 East side, going back to that, would you be the guy that's going to go all out, or are you going to be the guy that's going to be consistent? And what do you do to ensure, I mean, we see it all the time, a title favorite comes into the first round, doesn't get the start, has crashes in the heat, gets a bad start in the LCQ, doesn't make the main event. How do you avoid that scenario?
You just got to be able to talk yourself off the ledge and not get too excited. Make smart decisions out there. It just comes down to racecraft and generally being good at racing, not so much at throwing down fast laps.
Well, we're about to find out. It looks like we're loading up our first lineup check of the night. I'm excited to get this 250 East Series underway.
Now, you guys were saying Bryce Whelan was top qualifier. I'm showing Jack Klebine.
Maybe just came in very late. The times do update a little bit, so that would have been a last-minute fast lap. Coming in to the gate, Peter Like, Cody Branson, Alex Cunningham, Jack Klebine, Bryce Whelan, Daniel Mills, Charles Gable, Eduardo Simos, Gunnar Fugler, and we got Rocheford on the 824. Let's see here. Who else do we got on the gate? Gustavo Diniz, Dominic Saunier, Tyler Morin, Logan Leitzel, James Cohen, and I think that's everybody. Sorry, I was trying to do the lineup a little bit different, actually using the stream calculator. Looks like Carter Hutchinson, Dylan Copeland, Edward Moore, and Garrett Hollenbeck. I believe that should round out your field here for this first heat race as they're off on their warm-up lap. Going to be interesting. I think this first rhythm is going to be really tricky on the start tonight because you don't hit it the same way that you normally do, and it's a split entry off of a roller over a 4-foot jump. So I think it's going to catch a lot of guys off guard. So I don't think it's just get through the first turn safe, but getting through that first rhythm safe and not getting landed on is going to be super key tonight.
Definitely something we will keep an eye on as these guys go out for their first heat race of the year. Lots of anticipation building up for this one, of course. These guys want to go out there and show what they're made of tonight and see who can take that red plate into round number 2 of their series next week. Got a good lineup of riders here.
I bet you Daniel Mills pulls the whole shot. I'm gonna go out on a limb and go with that one. He's known to be old Danny boy, knows how to get the starts going on here.
UID number 21, and in the booth with us is UID number 22, Mark Seidler. So couple of buddies there close in the purchasing process of MX Simulator. Throwback.
Oh boy, it's time to go racing.
Here we go. It is time for the first 250 East Heat Race of the year here in Minneapolis. Let's drop the gate.
The 210 of Klubine had a huge jump out of the gate, but he's actually getting pulled down the start straight. Coming into turn 1, Rochefort on the outside is going to get punted by Klubine, and Logan Leitzel from Mad Cape on the 2-6 takes the early lead, and he's off to the races as pileups are starting to form behind him in that rhythm.
Leitzel leads from Whelan, Mills, Branson all up at the front as the field starts funneling in together. Leitzel opens up a small gap as we got this good group of riders settling into a freight train here from about 2 back to last. Just a huge freight train here early on.
I heard a lot of comments earlier about the whoops being tricky, and Leitzel almost gets bit by him, doesn't get into that berm, but Whelan goes down, causes a huge pileup.
Everybody into Whelan who was down there, and he still is just barely getting going as Dylan Copeland now finds himself into the 2 ride. Gunnar Fugler moves into that 3 spot on the 641, and everybody trying to get sorted. Here's Mora, Branson, Daniel Mills able to get up going in the 6 spot. We got Hutcherson, Morin, and Deniz now in the final transfer spot after lap number 1.
Oh, Cody Branson goes down, takes out another rider with him. I think that's the 771 of Hutchinson.
Yeah, Hutchison down in the corner, and somehow Gustavo Deniz just rode right over the top of one of our downed riders. I don't know how he survived that, but everybody's still trying to get sorted here as Logan Leitzel on the number 26 Mad Cape ride has the early lead and is cruising out front. So it's Leitzel on the...
Establishing himself with a nice lead there. That pile up at the end of the whoops gave him a gap. Now he's trying to lay burners down. A huge scrub over the finish line. Looking comfy back here on the 250 machine.
Yeah, Leitzel definitely looking smooth out front. This battle for second starting to brew a little bit harder now as Copeland on the 44 leading Gunnar Fugler on the 641. Fugler looks like he's on the move forward as he's trying to get around Copeland as they hit the Supercross triple side by side. Outside move for Fugler. Makes the move and into the 2 spot for Fugler. Copeland lays it down and now has more on his backside here.
Oh, Mora's going to come up short, but not too much to save it. Has to double single into the turn, though. And Danny Boy coming in hot behind them up in the number 5 spot. Also got Morin and Simos battling behind them. Denise in 8th, and our final transfer spot right now is Charles Gable. Alex Cunningham on the outside looking in.
Yeah, Cunningham definitely wants to get in. Hutchison was up there earlier on. We got James Cohen, Bryce Whelan back here. So Whelan not in. Peter Like and Jack Klubine, both definitely fast and capable riders of making it in, are on the outside looking in as well.
A lot of established veteran riders at the front of the field, guys that have been around for years. Not necessarily suffering from the first round jitters, perhaps, of some of the other guys that we're seeing in the field.
Yeah, it looks like Gable has those jitters, though, as he's making a ton of mistakes. And here comes Alex Cunningham looking to go down the inside. Thinks better of tripling. And is not even going to get the Supercross triples. Hutcherson tries to go over top of him. And he's going to make the move. So Hutcherson now trying to set sail after Gable, who's still in our final transfer spot. Actually have a little stack up of riders ahead of him here. Tyler Morin was down. Looks like he may have gotten together with either Gustavo Deniz or Eduardo Simos. So they are all just getting going. So Gable's actually going to make the pass on Morin. and push the 295 back, but Gable out of shape in the whoops. Saves it. Morin almost gets together with him as they swing around the outside there of Edward Mora. So Mora on the 40 now has Bryce Whelan closing in from behind, and look at Whelan trying to make the move. There he goes into 9th for Bryce Whelan. And he's going to try to make a couple more quick passes as he shoots down the inside and plows Charles Gable. Gable, an unsuspecting victim, ends up on the ground and is going to have to regroup here and try to make it into this top 9.
Whelan lucked out there, but I don't know if that was the smartest decision he could have made in that circumstance.
No, definitely throwing some caution to the wind, and Gable losing out there, but now he finds himself back in 9th after we had a couple riders crashing. Now has Noah Baker right on his heels.
Fast qualifier, Jack Klubine, mired deep in the pack.
Oh, look at Baker's going to make the move on Gable. Gable trying to square him off into the whoops, and Gable out of shape in the whoops. Look at, he's going down the inside. Oh, thought better of plowing him though, and Baker moves into our final transfer spot. Frantic action here at the back of the pack for the final transfer spot, but up front, nobody touching Logan Leitzel on the 26. Smooth and controlled out front. He's got some lappers right behind him that are battling amongst each other. Fugler now into the 2 ride as mentioned, which pushed Copeland back to 3rd. Daniel Mills up to 4th. Eduardo Simos now in the 5 spot. Mora up to 6th. Deniz is 7th, and here's Bryce Whelan trying to make the move on him. Mistake from
2
Whelan.
laps left to go in the heat now, or a lap and a half for your leaders. So we're starting to come to the end of this thing. I'm just seeing how much the track is starting to deteriorate.
And Bryce Whelan, sorry to cut you off, Chris, actually went down, so he's going to lose the 8th spot. Baker goes to 8th, and Gable now back on the bubble spot in 9th.
I just saw Klubine, who was back at about 12th spot, hit the deck, so not looking good for him after being so fast in qualifying. Not able to get it done just yet. So can Whelan get in, or is Gable going to hold on? A couple laps to go for those guys to sort it all out, as the lights are almost a lap ahead.
Yeah, Gable didn't get the triple, so Whelan closes right up behind him now. It's Gable on the 96 and Whelan on the 49.
Different rhythms.
Different rhythms. Check each other. Look
Checks
at
up this time.
Whelan goes inside and is trying to get the drive into the corner. Gable shuts the door.
Whelan looks like he's being extremely patient right here, like he knows he has the speed. He's not going to risk falling down. He's trying to just wait for the right opening. But Gable right now keeps slamming the door shut. Here comes Whelan.
Oh! I don't know how there wasn't contact there, as Whelan seems to be lagging. I just had some issue. Yeah, timing gates are not updating very well for Bryce Whelan right now, so he's definitely lagging. That does not help the case for Charles Gable.
Yep.
So now in the 10 spot, it looks like it's Peter the Locomotive-like. And in front of Whelan, there's a huge mistake by Noah Baker, so he's dropping back. Whelan can dive inside and go right through him a little bit.
What the heck is
There's
happening?
Another rider in the corner. Like has gone down, so Gable's got another opportunity at this as the win goes to Logan Leitzel.
So Leitzel takes the victory. Something is going on with Bryce Whelan right now. He is having some severe lag issues. But he's just trying to hang on to your final transfer spot if he can.
He's got a little bit of a gap right now as he goes down into that rhythm section.
Just taking it easy.
Are you sure that's a rhythm section, not a whoop section?
Not the smoothest rhythm section for Bryce Whelan here. Through the whoops he goes, and he's able to survive the whoop section. So it looks like the 49 machine is going to go through into your main event this evening. Something's going on for sure with Whelan. He is having some severe lag issues as he crosses the line. Finally checks in at 9th. It was Baker ahead of him, Deniz, Simos, Mora, Copeland, Mills, Fugler, and of course Leitzel with the victory. That is where they stand right now. We will wait for cuts to see whether or not Peter Like, Gable, Hutcherson, Cunningham, Klubine, Cohen, Morin, Branson, Saulnier, or Rochefort, or Hollenbeck for that matter, can make it in. Of course, they're going to have to go through the LCQ, quite a few of them.
lot of guys outside of the transfer position there that I would expect to see in the main event. But then again, when I go through the transfer positions, I wouldn't expect any of those guys to not be in the main either.
Yeah.
Pretty deep field here in 250 East, and we got a whole nother group of riders coming up in heat number 2. As we're going to get a lineup check going shortly. Nothing changed there in that top 9. Same guy is going to go through here out of heat 1. So we're going to take 9 more. And then the pressure's on in the LCQ for the guys not getting in, as these riders, it's getting nervous time as they're coming up to the gate.
Yeah, Logan Leitzel made it look awfully easy in that first race, but it is not that easy, ladies and gentlemen. I can promise you. Heat race victories are not easy to come by.
For sure. We got some definite fast guys coming to the line here. Pretty excited to see if the start means everything is coming to the gate. We got Dakota French, Tyler Lang, Jacob Hubbard, Josh Williams, Payson Johnson, Alex Stinson, Colby Eagland, Trent Adams, Garrett Olver, Zoe Cross, Trevor Doiron, Clement Lana, Rogan McIntosh, Jack Fowler, Phil Bowl, Jarrett Gaskew, Trevor Burns, Isaiah Dickerson, Neil Wells, and Alex Carlo, all coming to the gate here. Heat number 2, 6 minutes plus 1 lap. Top 9 going to go to the main here in Minneapolis.
All right.
Where do you want to be on the gate, Mark? What do you think? Where's the hot gate spot tonight?
Just somewhere on just inside of the doghouse, probably. It's a fairly even start. Lots of room down in that first corner, but stuff always pushes wide, so you don't want to be outside of that box usually.
Yeah, it looks like the first turn's really separating. About half the guys go out and hit that little outside bank, but there's not a lot of a bank there. It's just one little kind of ledge, and then it allows a second group of guys to just hang tight around the inside and come into the section. And I'm just wondering if how you want to set up for the first section, what angle you want to be at, which is better. The bigger lip to double into the first section is going to be on that inside, but it's probably a little safer to tire tap on the outside. I'll have to watch that as it develops, and maybe these guys are going to figure it out here in the heat races before they go main event racing, because that's the one thing they don't get a ton of practice on during qualifying is the actual start.
It's a solid point you make there. I think, if I get a wheel up, I'm definitely going to the outside and crossing the track as many times as I can.
Yeah, just try to shut as many guys off as you can and then smash that berm. Hope no one sneaks under you, I guess.
All right, time to go racing here in 250 heat number 2. Opening round of the E Series for these 250 guys. Who's going to be the 9 to go to the main event? Let's find out right now as the gate is down in Minneapolis. Long start straight down to the other side of the stadium and out of the inside. Lang has a good jump, but around the outside, it's his teammate Eagland who cuts across and grabs the whole shot.
He did just what you said, Mark. Bar dragged into the berm, crossed the whole track, was able to get the double in, but coming around the outside is Garrett Olver on the 208. Where did he come from? He shot out of a cannon.
So Olver takes over the lead from Eagland, Lang, and Carlo up front. We got French, Johnson, Lana, and Adams also finding themselves right at the sharp end of the field. So a freight train of really fast guys with Olver leading them all.
Very curious on how Olver entered that first section, because at the end of it he carried so much momentum. I thought Eagland had it dialed and had a nice lead already opened up. As his teammate, it's give and chase. Tyler Lang is all over his back door. The top 3, top 4, top 5, trying to check out a little bit.
Very, very tight group at the front here. Everybody trying to swing outside and hit the same lines as they kind of tire tap, double, triple through that rhythm lane together. Eagland closing up a little bit on Olver, trying to put the pressure on. Once again, same lines in this first rhythm lane. In fact, Lang actually looks like he's going to be the guy pushing Eagland into Olver right now, as our 3 leaders are all coupled together here.
I gotta say, I wouldn't have expected Olver out front, but he's doing a solid job right now with 2 of our championship contenders behind him for now. But here comes Eagland, and Lang gonna go right with him. They fly by him like he was tied to a post. Olver aggressive up the inside.
Both of those teammates just going together as they try to get around Olver, but Olver gets Lang back in the whoop section, and nicely done around the outside. Doesn't look like Olver wants to give up this lead just yet, as he's actually going back after Eagland.
Who's playing for him right now? That is not him. He's killing it.
This 3-rider battle at the front is insane as Olver...
mistake from Olver. Lang's not able to triple either, so he's not able to make the move. It's going to open up just enough gap for Eagland, as Olver not able to get the triple. Lang going to go up into the 2 spot.
Yep, so now we have another active co 1-2. Oliver slides back into the 3 spot. Here comes Alex Carlo and Payson Johnson.
Johnson getting case a little bit. Looks like he has a little lag action going on as well on the 351. Behind them, we find Jacob Hubbard, Neil Wells, Dakota French, and your final transfer spot right now is the Deuce Deuce. Team Volcom's Phil Bull. Bolts down that final transfer. He's trying to go after French, who's all over the back of Neil Wells on the 154.
Yeah, that battle is for 7th on your screen right here. Wells and French locked together.
These guys nailing that rhythm section a lot more consistently than I thought they would be on the 250. As French had a little bit of a run, was peeking inside. You're set up for such a block pass after the whoops, but French decides to wait, and there he goes, aggressive, and puts Wells on the ground.
And can't do the finish line jump, so he's going to lose a spot to Phil Bull as well. That puts Isaiah Dickerson into a transfer spot, though, and he's all over the back door of Dakota French now.
Dickerson into the bales. He's going to double single into the turn. He's got to try to get that triple on a 250. Got to try to get hooked up. He doesn't. He's going to lose some time as Lana and Wells get together in that 10 spot right behind him. And that's going to leave a nice gap here for Dickerson. Back at the front of the field, Lang leads over his teammate Eagland.
Yeah, these teammates are absolutely checking out front. Oh, Lang, small mistake. Eagland's going to try to close the door as Lang wheelies all the way down to the other side of the stadium. So a little battle brewing out front between the teammates. Just another day at the test track, really. This guy's out here just putting motos. Yeah. Lang a small bobble. Here comes Eagland to the inside. Takes over the lead. Does he get the triple? No, he doesn't. Lang goes for it and gets the lead right back. What a great action here in Minneapolis.
The lack of a big berm in that corner is already developing to make some very technical racing. It looks like it's so hard to time the triple into the corner perfect and then get these 250s hooked up enough to triple. We're going to have to watch that all night. It's another turn that's really open as well for block passes. I was surprised to see Eagland go in that aggressively on his teammate, but maybe they're communicating with each other and he let him know that, hey, I'm jumping up your inside, don't pin it around the corner.
Absolutely, they don't want to hit each other and take each other out of this lead. Maybe give it to Payson Johnson, who's riding tremendously right now in the 3 spot. He was the winner of the amateur Supercross race last week at San Diego, so Johnson definitely putting in a good showing here in his rookie debut in the 250 East Division. Behind him is Carlo. Then Oliver slid back to the 5 spot. Phil Bull slides out in 6th, and he is still going to hang on to that spot. No French goes through, and Hubbard.
Well.
And Dickerson.
Dickerson, as he wasn't able to jump that finish, and now Bull is on the last transfer spot. Still has a transfer, but can't afford another mistake. Neil Wells, though, is a good 10 seconds behind him, so he does have a nice gap to get regrouped and get back going.
It's amazing how these 250 guys are struggling on that big Supercross triple. They just cannot seem to get the power down and get the drive. Meanwhile, Garrett Oliver is down in the rhythm lane, the first rhythm lane. That's going to slide him back to the 9 spot. And actually, he might get Dakota French right back. So these guys having a battle of the bubble, really, as French now slides back. And here comes Neil Wells.
Oh, coming out of that corner, Dickerson went down. Him and Bull had actually just gotten up from a crash. So now we got Dickerson over French and Wells all battling over that last transfer. Wells makes a huge mistake. Gonna get jumped right over by Jarrett Gaskew. First time we've talked about him in this heat race, as he just completely out Kattenberg that corner.
Well, more riders down. Looks to be a couple lappers mixed in here. 122 and 142, I should say. You'll note that
we got riders down after the finish.
Oh, it's Oliver, and Bull is down too. So Gaskew's going to pick up a few spots. He's going to move into the 8 ride. Now Neil Wells finds himself in the 9 spot with Phil Bull right behind him there on the 22.
Our battle for the lead is on fire right now. Eagland is all over Tyler Lang, and they're about to grab the white flag as they hit the finish line.
One thing I want to point out is that your fastest qualifier, or I should say second fastest qualifier, Josh Williams, not in a transfer spot right now. Last time he came across our timesheets, he was in 18th. As the lead is changing hands, there goes Eagland to the inside of Lang, and he gets it done.
I don't think this is over just yet. Lang has been nailing this inside. Does it again. Makes up just a touch of time as they're going to go into the same rhythm down this first rhythm. Lang all the way out by the bales, but he's got an angle to the inside.
Look at this line from Lang down the inside, and he's going to pass his teammate back, and they get together. How did they both stay on 2 wheels as Eaglin gets up first, and he's trying to get around some lappers? What kind of physics was that? I don't know how they both just stayed on 2 wheels, and it's Eaglin who's the one out front. So how about it, the number 20 machine, Active Co's Colby Eaglins, battling with his teammate this whole heat race, gets together with him and survives. Eaglin, heat number 2 winner here. And look at Johnson. Johnson and Lang inside. Oh, he's together, and they're both stuck on the jump. Who's gonna get up? It's Johnson over the line over Carlo, who came across in the 3 spot. Lang is still not over. Lang crosses in 4th. Hubbard ends up in 5th. Dickerson's going to get 6th here. Looks like Dakota French should have 7th. Neil Wells is going to pick up an 8th. No, Phil Bull. So Phil Bull looks like he's going to get the 8th spot here. And just over the line, Neil Wells goes to the main event. Ooh, Payson Johnson, who already qualified sitting in the track, blocks Jarrett Gaskew from crossing the line there. He still gets 10th. But interesting change of events there. Josh Williams, second fastest qualifier, ends up 11th. Clement Lana, Alex Stinson, Garrett Olver, Trevor Doiron, Jack Fowler, Zoa Cross, Trent Adams, Rogan McIntosh, Trevor Burns. All not going through out of this one. What a race.
So the victim that we were talking about of going to that LCQ is Josh Williams, I would say. The pressure is now on him. Don't blow the championship at round 1. Find your way into the main event. Pressure is on the number 69 as we're about to go 450 racing. Heat number 1 coming up just a moment here. We're going to be getting that lineup check going. See how these 450s attack the racetrack. I'm guessing we're going to see a lot of different lines coming out of these guys. I know that there's a couple bigger rhythms that they were able to do. So we'll see if they start pulling them out here in the heat races and if they can get them consistently.
Yeah, I'm very interested to see how these 450s are able to attack the track. I think that we're going to see a couple maybe bigger lines out of these guys as well, because they're going to be able to do some things that we haven't seen before. Maybe I saw a couple guys in the 450 division swinging across the inside of the track from the outside after the Supercross triple and tripling into the rhythm lane off the left side jump. So curious to see if that's something that we see out of these 450 guys as well.
Yeah. Alana Solis, Austin Eklund, Devin Davis, Race Carlin, Matthias Janis, Spencer Turley, Ash Deering, Braden Carter, Zach Prokop, Fernando Andrade, Ethan Parks, Dominic Tiberino, Colton Mitchell, Dade Honeywell, Jack Haley, Billy Kunitz, Alexis Leclerc, Jordan Moxie, Jake Rose, Daniel Bachelet, all coming to the gate. It's a who's who of MX Simulator, and this is only half of the field here in the 450 class, as there's a massive pileup on the warm-up start. But we have Haley and Leclerc both on the gate here, so this should be a good representation of what we might see tonight from a couple of our top contenders.
I personally am very curious to see how Spencer Turley will rebound tonight after not qualifying for the Fast 40 last week. Hopefully Race Factory Gaming doesn't attack him tonight. What's
up, my dude? Spencer Turley. Check him out on YouTube, youtube.com/Spencer Turley, I believe. He's got an Out of This Galaxy YouTube channel. We're going to the gate, ready to go racing.
Isn't it In the Galaxy, actually?
Nah, he's in another world. I am the top donator on that channel, by the way.
No, you're not. Someone beat you. Stop bragging.
Nope. All right, time to go 450 racing here in Minneapolis. We got the champ right in the middle of our screen. It's time to drop the gate in the 450 class.
It's like the 181 on the outside, Leclerc on the inside. Leclerc is going to seal the deal into turn number 1. Looks
Turley
like Turley
on the outside.
Did have a good start.
Haley almost snuck down the inside and got it from Leclerc, but he ends up right behind him. It's going to be Haley and Race Carlin out front early on.
Ooh, he got the track early.
With Leclerc leading this thing. Look at this 3-rider train already developing here as Haley makes a mistake in the rhythm section and Carlin goes into the 2-ride. Haley down the inside trying to square him up, ends up having a jam on the brakes. And Alana Salas, Leclerc's teammate, ends up moving into the 3 spot, and Haley is down. Championship leader down. Look at all these riders going through, an absolute freight train of riders going through at the end of the whoop section.
Very expensive mistake, and he only made it because he was trying to be nice with Race Carlin, who got the track early.
Look, Alexis Leclerc, your race leader right now after lap number 1. Leclerc still looking for his first main event victory of the season as the defending Supercross champion. He obviously wants to click that off his list tonight if he can. Carlin in second. How about Alana Salas? The Lithuanian sits in third, but maybe not for long. Here's Dominic Tiberino on the 77 closing in.
Oh, mistake from Salas.
And it's going to be Tiberino going through. Look at that. Billy Kunitz almost through the front door, and he gets together with Honeywell. I believe that's who's going down.
Oh. Braden Carter slides through. Honeywell back up and going. Devin Davis slides into 8th. Jake Rose 9th. And who I don't see are Colton Mitchell, Matthias Janis. They're both out of transfer spots, and Jack Haley's all the way back at 15th place right now.
That would be huge if Mitchell or Haley miss out. Obviously, Haley, your championship leader, needs to go through out of this heat race, or else it's going to be super drama time in that last chance qualifier.
Leclerc just hucked the big line down that first rhythm. It's going to stretch it out a little bit over Race Carlin with the lead. He went 3-4-1 down that first rhythm. That's something we're going to keep an eye on if they can get that thing consistently. They hadn't gotten it the first couple of laps of the heat.
This could be a night for Leclerc just because there's a big rhythm line that's inconsistent, and if we know anything about Leclerc, he is really, really good at the big rhythm lines.
I think I recall this a little bit last year where he did better on the East Coast rounds, which are built by Racetech's own Chris Riesenberg. I don't know why I struggled so bad with that. Not even drunk yet.
Your English is getting better, Mark.
Thank you. Versus the East or the West Coast tracks built by Barrington. So I don't know. Maybe this is a factor that plays into Alexis's hand, that he's better at.
He didn't get the 3 in again. Let's see if Tiberino's pulling that line out here in the number 2 spot.
No, going inside.
I don't think so.
I don't think
Where
they can
is
get the
Carlin gone? Carlin was down on the triple, so Honeywell's going to move up. There comes Carlin.
Nobody's doing that line, as we mentioned. I think it's going to be a make or break line in that main event. I think a few guys that can do it consistently, if any of them, are going to be the ones to beat tonight.
Oh, Leclerc is down with the lead. He does have a 9-second gap, so no harm, no foul. He's up and going. Didn't see how he fell. He was on down in the exit of the turn after the whoop section. So. This
battle for third is raging right now with Dade, Honeywell, Race Carlin, and last week's winner from San Diego, Braden Carter. Carter in the 250 West Division, moving up out here to the East on a 450 and challenging some of the best 450 riders in this class.
Definitely out there mixing up the rhythm there with a different line. Let's see how it works out as he's behind Carlin. Now he goes deep and only doubles into the turn. Still going to get inside on Carlin.
Oh,
Honeywell not triple in. 3 riders in the same piece of real estate on the landing.
And they're still all together as Honeywell is able to get a drive from the outside. Carlin not going to get the rhythm section that cleanly. Going to give it back to Honeywell, and Carter's into the back of him and down.
Yeah, I don't think Carter expected Carlin to close the door that hard. He's going to lose some spots. There goes Salas through.
Oh, Rose is together, and he's with Deering, and they're both down. And here's Turley. Turley's going to go down with Deering as a couple other riders sliding through.
Yeah, we watched Jack Haley slide into a transfer spot now. He's up to the 7 spot, moving forward, trying to salvage a gate pick. Devin Davis right now rides in that 9 spot, but he's got some heavy pressure for the number 50. What's up, my dude? Spencer Turley looking aggressive on the inside, trying to get around Devin Davis for that last transfer.
Oh, Turley got a little kick in the whoops, but he is sending it right now on the 50. Contact in the background. It looks like that may have been Matthias Janis hitting the deck, but this battle between Turley and Davis is on in Minneapolis.
Turley's taking some very aggressive looks up the inside, just waiting for an opportunity to pull the trigger.
Got a rider down.
Devin Davis over a berm. We got 2 riders down. One of them's Race Carlin off the track. He can't get back on. Ethan Parks was also down.
Oh, and Carlin getting back on the track goes down. So Deering goes through into our final transfer spot.
Wondering how many timing gates Carlin might have missed because he was off the track for a while.
Get together so bad right now because of the shitstorm that it would cause on the forums and YouTube.
Davis.
has dropped to 9th. Turley's moved up to 7th. So now Davis is in the hot seat, and he's got Carlin behind him.
Man, I just saw Jack Haley absolutely slicing through the field over there. Moves his way into 5th around Alana Salas. Oh, Deering sideways off the track. Carlin gets a twofer as Davis also makes a mistake, and there goes Race Carlin back into the final transfer spot. Davis trying to retaliate here.
Haley up to 5th, trying to get 4th from Braden Carter.
Showing Davis in the final transfer.
Oh, Davis now into the final transfer. Here is Haley, though, trying to get around Carter. And he's going to go down the inside and get it. So Haley's march to the front is looking pretty strong right now.
Carlin kind of starting to choke late in this race for a guy that gets the track early.
Yeah, Carlin definitely throwing it out the window here after an early great start. Now finds himself well out of transfer.
White flag is out for our leader, Alexis Leclerc, as he makes a small mistake. He does have an 8-second lead. 52.6 fast lap, so he laid a burner down at some point. I'm going to watch and see if he nails his triple quad across the start. Nope, not going to go for it here on the last lap. Just being consistent with that smooth double in. Pipperino solid in the 2 spot. Honeywell a good ride. But here comes Haley, who's come through the pack, showing that you can definitely pass on this racetrack, and he has what it takes. He does it in the main events often, right? He recovers from those early mistakes and salvages good rides.
Tell you what, things are starting to kick off a little bit back for this final transfer spot. It was actually close, but Ethan Parks just went down. The thing that I saw was Turley getting out of shape and going almost backwards in the whoop section, trying to get going in front of Devin Davis. So everything's kind of settled down. Looks like Deering should have this last transfer spot under lock, because it's Leclerc, your big winner here in 450 heat number 1. Tiberino 2nd, Honeywell 3rd. Haley, is he going to get to Honeywell before this is over? Does not look like it. Absolutely flying right now as the 57 machine, but he'll end up in 4th. Carter 5th. Alana Salas out of shape in the whoops. Looks like he's got 6th. Spencer Turley, he's going to stamp his ticket to the main event with the 7th. Devin Davis has 8th, and Ash Deering should end up 9th here. And he does. Deering going through Carlin, Prokop, Eklund, Batchlett, Janice, Moxie, Parks, Rose, Mitchell, Andrade, Kunitz, all out of the main event, going to the LCQ in this one.
Yeah, big news there with Colton Mitchell not making the show, along with Race Carlin. Both those guys, of course, in good standings in the points.
I feel worth noting that Lexus. Oh wait, never mind. His best lap was way better than everyone else's. I thought he was a little slower, but more consistent than the rest of the riders. But he's got almost 2 seconds on anyone else in the heat race.
Yeah, absolute burner laid down by the number 1 machine. Potentially feeling it here in Minneapolis.
Definitely trying to get
he's trying to do a wheelie line here after the race, a wheelie triple quad. Huge line from Leclerc. I'm wondering if maybe he busted that out in the race, and that's where he got his hot lap.
I don't see anyone else practicing starts. And a nice
interesting.
wheelie.
Let's see what he's got going on here. He's going to set up again for that rhythm as we're waiting here to get the warm lineup check for heat number 2 underway.
Wow.
And
That
he whips the
is
quad
huge.
in. No.
Oh my goodness. Man, if he could make that work, that would be a big boy line for sure.
So much skill and talent to be able to place your front wheel over a roller like that and still get the pop off the triple. Pretty risky to bust out in a race. As we're about to go to the line with heat number 2, we're going to see Siebel Gebhardt, who was surprisingly fast, or maybe not surprisingly. I'm not sure, as he just slid into that top 10 in points this week. Adam Holm, Chase Blakely, after coming out of that Western Division. Andrew Massart as well, coming to the gate. Hunter Porch and Craig Richards, Craig Leake, Sabrina Ritzler coming to the gate. We also have on the line Hunter Porch, Tyler Schmidt, Jeremy Shipley, Ben Seberg, Holden Coate, August Sanders, Jonathan Hughes, Reed Young, Robert Wilson, Jeremy Cohenauer, Jeremy Smith, Will Whiteley, rounding out your field here for the second heat race here in the 450 class. Wonder if Hughes is going to be able to nail the starts on the 450 like he's been on the 250 out west.
I think they translate pretty good. Good starters are usually good starters all around.
And can Holm and Siebold make the main event?
Just like we saw Jay Willie do in the 250 heat races, speed isn't always necessarily the key component in making main events.
All right, we're going to have to keep an eye on Seabolt for sure in this one. If he does not go through 2 weeks in a row, that is a huge blow for his championship hopes, but he's looking to have a turnaround week this time around if he can make it through right out of this one, and we're about to find out whether he is able to do that or not. It is time for 450 heat number 2, live on SYS TV here at Minneapolis. Gate down. 223 to the corner first. Massart is trying to swing all the way around the outside, but it's Smith down the inside. Massart still the lead, though.
Leak as well up in the mix. As the guys starting to funnel out, it looks like Massart, Leak, Greg Richards also up there in there with Jeremy Smith. So a lot of those 250 West guys up in the mix early here.
It's 250 West guys out front here in this 450 division. Massart and Leak, Smith, and then obviously Richards, your points leader on the West Series. Oh my goodness, Siebel laying into that corner behind them, and here's Richards trying to go to the inside of Smith, but Smith shuts the door. This is really tight action here at the end of lap number 1.
SPR rider Andrew Massart, the 223, leads the way with 1 lap down in the books. Smith comes up short. Massart makes a mistake. Smith is down.
That was a pretty pirouette.
He looked like he got Randy Orton right there. He just got thrown to the ground after a little pirouette. Here's Siebel, triple in, and then just a triple after that, so not doing the triple quad.
Yeah, I think the home was right there. I don't think he wanted to land on his teammate. Both these guys probably trying to play it a little safe this week to make sure they actually get into the main event out of this heat race. Going to maybe be a little more patient.
Yeah, home nearly coming together with Massart there, who has lost the race lead now as it's Leak from Richards. Oh, I don't know how Holm didn't get into the back of Massart there, as Siebelt's going to make the pass on his teammate and move up into the 4 ride. So 3 of our 250 West competitors, 1, 2, 3 in 450 heat number 2 here at Minneapolis.
I feel like we've seen this picture out front of this race before.
Massart down, losing tons of spots, ends up behind August Sanders. August Sanders out here.
The Colonel up in the mix.
Hunter Porch, Jeremy Shipley, Ben Seberg. This guy's trying to swing to that left side of the track.
Wow, I just saw Siebel carry some insane corner speed as he's trying to go after Craig Richards in that number 2 spot.
Man, I would imagine after last week that Siebelt's just angry. It's not anything other than just pure rage trying to get back into this points chase, and that might be the most dangerous Siebolt there is. He is riding fantastic right now.
Yeah, and it wasn't just a bad NA race. Also in the EU race, he actually had a PC issue mid-race. So a terrible San Diego for Jeremy Siebel on both sides of the pond. Battle looks like it's just warming up here with the top 3. They're all right there. Siebel keeps going for this slingshot big line. He's not going to go for it this time. Mistake from Leak.
Known for being extremely solid and consistent out front.
Look at Siebel down the inside, gets around Leak, and so Richards takes over the lead, and Leak gets into the back of Siebel, who came from far right to far left on that single. So now it is Richards from Siebolt and Holm as the MV Films riders look like they are dialed up here in Minneapolis. Both of them are flying to get to the back door of Richards here, who has a lead.
Siebelt's catching him in the corners for sure, getting hooked up and carrying way more momentum around each corner.
Staying lower too.
Get together with Leak in that corner. It's because the way he's sweeping the track to open his corners up. He actually has to sweep off the landing of the triple a little there. Barely holds it in. Is he going to try to triple by Richards? No, he's going to stay on the low line. Mistake, not going to be able to triple in clean. He's down.
Down, and Holm gets into him, and Holm is down. Can these guys, well, they got a big gap. I was going to say, can these guys
likely a sketchy re-entry right in front of Gebhardt, one of our faster qualifiers, so Salty Walty moving his way through the pack.
Triples on the inside.
Yeah, exactly. I was going to say, Gebhardt, new team this week. Looking strong.
Andrew Massart has rebounded up in the 6th spot. Jeremy Smith we find all the way back in 7th. Jonathan Hughes and Hunter Porch run in your top 9. A lot of those 250 West guys up in the mix in this heat race. That means there's going to be some 450 regulars not up in a qualifying spot at the moment.
Shipley. Robert Wilson. Will Whiteley.
Oh, Siebel off the track with the lead. He's going to miss the triple face. That's going to be a timing gate cut. Might have to watch that if Richards can get close. As Holm is actually down, Richards is now in the number 1 spot. Where did I miss that?
Well, Siebel was trying to get Richards and went down a lap ago, so I think that Richards has been in the lead this whole time, but Siebel, as you mentioned, just was off the track.
Yeah, it might have been a little timing foo as he was off the racetrack. So Richards has set sail out in the number 1 spot, 7 seconds up front. Siebel a little sketchy down the whoops in the 2 spot. Man, he's carrying corner speed. I can't get over it if you just watch him. He's so much momentum. He's not. It looks like he's not even touching the brakes, just coasting the corners and then getting on the gas super early.
Yeah, this looks like to be a more new and improved Jeremy Siebel from what we saw last week. Kind of on the struggle bus at San Diego, could never get it going, but he looks to be one of the better riders here tonight.
He had someone else playing for him.
Uncorks that triple in, but not able to get the quad after it. We've lost Adam Holm. He is all the way back to the number 7 spot as he just got passed by Andrew Massart. So Holmes finding his struggles, and actually was watching him a little bit during qualifying. He gelled with the track right away, said he really liked it, felt really good. Actually sat at top of the qualifying board for a little bit, and he's not known to be the fastest qualifier typically. Interesting, after they cross that start straight, there's a kind of a cut down rut inside the main rut now that they're all navigating to. Richards looks good out front on the 450. He's only got a 4-second lead though. Siebel to 52.9 last time around, so he's dropping the lap time. Gotta deal with some lappers.
Gonna get around Richards, who's down. Yeah, jumps right over top of him.
And Richards down a second time, as it looks like he got together with Shipley, so Gebhardt's going to go up to the 2 spot and give a nice gap to Siebel now with the lead.
Tough spot to go down in that rhythm lane for Richards over the backside of a blind jump.
Blakely and Smith. Smith aggressive up the inside, takes over the number 4 spot.
So Smith resurgent now. After a couple mistakes early in the race, found himself a little further back. Up front, Siebel takes the victory. Richards, oh, Gebhardt down at the end of the whoop. Smith and Blakely gonna go around him. Massart also, and Holm is down.
Yeah,
he's gonna lose a spot to Hughes.
I believe Wilson actually had like a triple fall off in that corner. Holm got into him, went down, but he does look like he's going to be safe to make the main event. And Craig Leake looks like he has that final chance for on lock. Tyler Schmidt going to find himself in the LCQ, unfortunately, for the 175 Prestige Worldwide machine. Cohenauer also LCQ bound, along with Hunter Porch, Holden Coate, the Colonel Sanders, Sabrina Ritzler, Reed Young, Ben Seberg, Jeremy Shipley, and Robert Wilson, Will Whiteley as well, all going to that LCQ unofficially. Siebel, though, rebounds with a heat race win after a disastrous last week, but I think the story in here has got to be those 250 West riders getting in there, mixing it up. They didn't hold on until the end, except for Richards, obviously stayed way up in there, but they were up there early. Hey, guess what?
Chicken butt.
Best time of the night coming on up.
Heck yeah.
Extra pressure tonight as it's the opening round of 250 East. You can make or break your championship right now on the line. If you don't get yourself into that main event, you can count your championship hopes almost bye-bye.
All right. 250 LCQ coming up next. Definitely going to have to keep an eye on Josh Williams and Jack Klubine. A couple of our fastest qualifiers here in this 250 East region. As you mentioned, if they miss out in this main event to start the season, you can almost say completely goodbye to that championship.
Yeah, especially in those short 250 series, is you can miss a main in the 450 class and sometimes get away with it, even though it's extremely competitive because you have such a long series to make it up. But these 250 series are so short And typically there's a group of guys that kind of establish themselves as the front runners, so there's not as much mix-ups in the results. So a lot of pressure on the line here as we're getting ready for the lineup check for the first LCQ of 250 East on the season. We're about to see some action go down.
I'll let you take over the lineup check. I'm going to get another beer.
Alrighty. As they're coming to the line, I will let you know who's on the line as soon as I load in.
Trent Adams is on the line.
As is Chandler Rogers. We have Trent Adams, Chandler Rogers, Peter the Locomotive Light, Cody Branson, Alex Cunningham, Jack Klubine, Josh Williams, Carter Hutcherson, there you go, Zoa Cross, Alex Stinson, Charles Gable, Trevor Doiron, Clement Lana, Rogan McIntosh, Dominic Saulnier, Jarrett Gaskew, Jack Fowler, Garrett Olver, Trevor Burns, Kian Rocheford, James Cohen, Garrett Hollenbeck. Those are your 22 riders. Hearts racing, ready to get going. It's time to go. LCQ racing, baby. Let's get it on. Warm-up lap. Gate down. Let me ask you, Mark, when you were really serious about racing and warm-up starts, were you one of the guys that just kind of sent it in there for fun and plowed into guys, or did you try to use it as a practice start, or what did you do on the warm-up lap?
Let me put it this way, Chris. I did a wall ride 3 times during a heat race and still qualified.
So just kept it as loose as you could.
Yes. I don't know if I would describe my racing as serious at any point.
You know when
I don't think I would describe your personality as serious at any point, to be honest.
I was gonna
All the
say,
time, man.
you know when they talk about like 90s moto and how like everybody was just chilling and like partying on the boats and like all that stuff. That was like 2011, 2012 sim. It was just like everybody hanging, nobody was taking it seriously.
Except Shack Attack.
Except Shack Attack, yeah, exactly. He took it very seriously.
Hence why he won a lot of races and a lot of championships. Like he was well ahead of his time. We're on the gate. Who do you guys got? We got 4 spots to go to the main.
Who's it going to be? 250 LCQ time for Minneapolis. It's time to go racing.
I got my money on the locomotive.
Locomotive, whole shot?
No, he's going to get caught by
back around the outside. Josh Williams gets out on the inside, almost loses the front end. And around the inside is the
Called it.
locomotive.
Oh, no. Oh, what?
The train has derailed. Peter Like is likely not going to go to the main event. Josh Williams does think he's going to, along with Alex Cunningham, as they're in the 1 and the 2 spots. We're off and racing. Dominic Saulnier, Clement Lana, Garrett Olver all up in the mix. Olver, of course, was good in that heat race, and he's on the ground now as well.
Hutcherson down too.
Cunningham almost gets taken out by Saulnier, who's bar dragging around the turn sideways through the whoops. Here comes Lana.
Oh, and then Cunningham almost goes off the track.
Oh, Cunningham aggressive.
Have it easy.
Oh,
if we know anything about Cunningham, he's known to be aggressive as he's looking inside, aggressive and hard on Saulnier.
Oh, Saulnier down.
Gives himself a little bit of a gap. Rogan McIntosh and Trent Adams running in the 5th and 4th spots. So right now, Trent Adams into the bales. He's going to case the triple.
McIntosh went down, so it's really Adams kind of by himself. Saulnier gets back up, and here's Jack Klubine as well.
A rider down. That was Lana. Another rider down in the rhythm. That's Cunningham out of a transfer now.
Wow.
All kinds of chaos.
Clement Lana, the rider out of France, trying to put the pressure on Klubine and Saulnier.
Klubine in that last transfer spot right now has Dom Saulnier right in front of him. Klubine looking inside, not going to make it happen here just yet as I get into that whoop section. Those race tech rockers, look at that. He's out the inside, is off the racetrack. There's Lana, and reappearing is Saulnier now in the numbers. Well, he missed the timing. Now he's in the 5 spot. Okay, I was waiting for that to update.
Yeah, Lana actually starting to put the pressure on Klubine right now. Interesting to see that our 450 guys are tucking inside in this rhythm lane.
Oh, Klubine a mistake off the racetrack.
And Clement Lana's going to go through. Just to finish my thought, though, those 450 guys staying left in the rhythm lane as Saulnier is down. It's going to give the 5 spot to Cunningham, or Gaskew, I should say. Or Branson, I don't know what I'm looking at.
Well, it's just all kinds of chaos and mixing up going on right now. Gasquet all over Branson, but they're on the outside of a transfer. They need to just focus forward. Clement Lana right now is on the hot seat, but he's going to the main if he can hold on. A lot of racing left to go in this short one, but with everything we've seen thus far, it's far from over.
So it's Williams leading from Adams, Klubine, and Lana. Branson trying to make it in, though. Let's go on board with Cody Branson here, 57.8 last time by.
The locomotive has left the train station, ladies and gentlemen. There will be no more locomotive action tonight.
Like I said, I called him for last.
Hey, I got him for the whole shot.
Yeah, that's what I was calling him for, too. Whole shot.
Looks like Josh Williams at the front has found his speed, 55.5 last time around. He looks really comfortable now. Maybe just some bad luck in that heat race. Perhaps a poor start, just couldn't get a clear track going. But here with the clear track in the LCQ, looks like he's fully rebounded. And doesn't look like no harm, no foul. If he can just keep it up right here, get into that main event, I think he'll be just fine in the main event, even with a poor gate pick. Impressive performance here from Trent Adams coming up. I think he's a rookie. I believe this is his first pro race. I think he's been racing the amateurs as far as I'm aware. And as I say that, he goes down, and Clement Lana is going to get around him just barely, and Klubine right there as well. And here comes Cody Branson up into the number 4 spot.
Yep.
Sorry, Trent Adams. Commentators cursed you.
Branson moves into the 4th spot, but it is far from over as Adams is still pretty close. Looks like Gasquet's going to need some help out of both of these guys up here, though.
Klubine, the first guy I've seen on a 250 doing that 450 line, the double
Gasquet's
triple.
going to need some help from the medics as he just cased the triple and rage quit.
Branson ends up backwards in the track, going to lose a transfer spot as Trent Adams finds his way back through.
Branson looks like he's hitting the panic button a little bit. He's getting sideways, and he is literally hitting the rev limiter everywhere around the racetrack. He knows time is running out, and he is on the outside looking in. Watch out if he gets up to Trent Adams and there's an opening, because I know Cody Branson will definitely go for it as the white flag is flying. Who is going to get these final 4 transfer spots?
Well, it's up to Branson now to make something happen here. Adams is in that final transfer spot. Just got to ride a smooth lap, and he should have it. Branson throwing caution to the wind from behind, jumps down the inside of the track, and still goes for the triple. Gets it. Oh my
Branson
goodness.
is absolutely pinning it right now. It's win or crash right now, or win for him is the 4th spot for sure.
Oh, Trent Adams.
Leader's made a mistake, but he's got a huge lead. He's going to take the win. But the battle for the last transfer is what to watch. Adams, a huge cross rut.
Adams has got to be absolutely pooping his jorts right now.
Triple.
Gets
Branson's
the triple out. No, he
it.
doesn't. Oh, this is going to get so close as it's Josh Williams, your winner. Trent Adams down the whoops. He's clean. Look at Branson, though. Branson is absolutely flying. He's going to get it as close as he can.
Going for the T-bone. For sure. No, he's going to try to rail around and get him on cuts, perhaps.
And over the
Adams.
line, 0.9 was the gap, so he needs cuts to help him out there. Hollenbeck.
Garrett Hollenbeck, James Cohen, Trevor Doiron, Zoa Cross, Jack Fowler, Trevor Burns, Dominic Saulnier after that great start, Hutcherson, McIntosh, Chandler Rogers, Rocheford, Gasquet, Cunningham, Over, Gable, Locomotive Like, and Alex Stinson all not going to be going to the main for sure. We'll have to watch for cuts here on this final transfer spot. Is it going to be Cody Branson, or did Trent Adams do enough to hold on and make his first pro main event?
And cuts are in. No, Branson actually had 1.2 seconds of cuts. Either way, wouldn't have mattered because no cuts out of Trent Adams. Incredible. All right, coming up next, our 450 last chance qualifier. If the 250 LCQ is going to be the second best race of the night, the 450 LCQ may just be the very best race of the night.
Coming to the gate. Here we go. Hunter Porch, Tyler Schmidt, Z's General Race Carlin, Matthias Janis, Colton Mitchell, Sabrina Ritzler, Zach Prokop, Billy Kunitz, Ethan Parks, Jeremy Shipley, Austin Eklund, Fernando Andrade, Ben Seberg, Holden Coate, the Colonel August Sanders, Reed Young, Robert Wilson, Jordan Moxie, Jeremy Cohenauer, Will Whiteley, Daniel Butch, and Jake Rose. So a lot of guys at the top 10 in points in this. This stuff's about to get gnarly. Who's going to be the most upset that's not going to make the main? Come on, ruin a friendship, everybody. Who's not going to make it that should be in the main event?
I don't have
Call
any
someone
friends.
out.
None of these guys like me.
I wonder why, Kellen. I wonder why.
I'm going to say Race Carlin doesn't make the main.
Oh, this is the general. Oh. It's going to be all World War II again for the German.
From what I saw out of him in the heat race, I mean, he had a great start and went backwards the entire race.
But he gets the tracks early.
He does get the tracks early, but maybe that's a disadvantage at this round because he throws caution to the wind when he really should be taking it easy.
Or is it because now that we're to the LCQ, everyone else has plenty of track time and his advantage is gone?
Maybe. Yeah, Nickerson, I did see, but unfortunately, you kind of have to send these things to me before the stream starts.
All right, well, we're on the gate. It's about to go down. And yes, I'm very excited.
Chris is stoked. He loves these LCQs. And so do we. Who's going to go to the final 4 spots in the main event tonight at Minneapolis? Let's find out right now. Oh, Janice hits the gate.
The gate. Carlin and Cohenauer have decent starts, but it looks like the rider out of the inside. No, he shuts off too early. There's Mitchell around the outside. He's got a good one. But Z General, Race Carlin out front early.
Carlin
Mitchell,
with the hole shot.
Batchlet in the mix. Those are your top 4 right now as they run over the Dragon's back.
Ooh, Prokop almost got hit by his teammate Hunter Porch. Whoa!
Up in there as well. These guys it looks so much different than the 250 LCQ. These guys look like they're just trying to let it sort out a little bit, where the 250s were just going absolutely bananas around the racetrack.
Oh my! Oh, Porch down! Oh, our leaders are down. It's Carlin and Mitchell stuck together. Prokop to the lead. Look at Mitchell trying to square back up underneath his teammate.
Carlin into the back of him, and he's on the deck.
Oh my! Carlin down. Had the lead, went down, got together with Mitchell, and now ends up on the ground and losing tons of spots.
Tyler Schmidt with a sick bar dragger on the berm. I don't know if you caught that as he's running in the 4th spot. Cohenauer into him, and he's down. Not off the bike, so his chances are not completely dead, but he lost a lot of spots. Janis gets landed on by Jake Rose. That might be the end of his run, as now Ben Seberg slides up to 5th. Schmidt runs 4th. Batchlet, Mitchell, and in the lead is Prokop.
I can't believe it, but I think Janis getting landed on right now
Schmidt's down.
Just gave Race Carlin his second breath, although I just think I see him going down again, Carlin, so again. Wow. So it's Cohenauer now trying to put the pressure on Schmidt.
Down out of second, and is that a rage quit?
Ooh, Colt Mitchell down in second, and
definitely Magic Manning.
Wow. Chat saying Colton's game crashed again?
Lagged out.
Lagged out. Oh my. Can you believe Colton Mitchell's luck? Just last week, 3rd in the main event, looking strong, looking like he was back to his old self, maybe going to land on the podium, maybe make a run for this championship going into the second half of the season.
A mistake from Batchelor, who was in the 2 spot. It's going to allow Schmidt to pull up alongside. Cohenauer right there. These guys got to be careful not to get together. They have a little bit of a gap over Fernando Andrade, who runs in the 5 spot.
And then Mitchell's game crashed, and this week, same problem. No points from San Diego, no points from Minneapolis, and second in the championship last year, Colton Mitchell may just be out of this championship hunt entirely now.
Of course, a couple of riders in the top 10 in the championship, not looking to make the main here as well. Shipley also outside looking in, a guy that we expect to find in the main events. So Wow. I believe Race Colin has also rage quit out of the race, so he will not be going to the main event. Janice is on the outside looking in. But all set a sail out front for Zach Prokop on the 38, looking strong to get in. Batchelor, a nice ride in second. He looks a little sketchy, but he's getting it done with Tyler Schmidt and Jeremy Cohenauer giving chase.
It's good to see old Tyler Schmidt back out here, 2016 250 East Supercross champion. We haven't seen him really that much the last couple of years racing, so he's putting it back down right now.
Low-key, one of my favorite people in the sim community, so always stoked to see the 175 lining up on the racetrack.
Definitely got some pressure from Cohenauer, but they got a good gap in Andrade and Porch.
Yeah, Porch actually has reeled in Andrade. Last lap around, about 3 seconds faster. So Porch is charging, but is it going to be too little, too late? And Janice laid down a 54.9, so much faster for him. Not much time left because they're going to be getting the white flag when they come around. So about 2 laps to go, and they got a long ways to get up to the top 4.
Andrade
Janice
down.
all over Porch now.
Yeah, Janice, top 10 in points, definitely wants to go to this main event if he can. And Porch goes down, so Janice, the last hope he has, I mean, he's got 6 seconds to make up on Cohenauer, his own teammate.
And he got the track early, so I doubt that he's going to make a mistake.
Now, Cohenauer's lost touch a little bit with Schmidt, maybe just trying to settle in. But could that actually come and bite him, as behind him, his teammate Janice is absolutely laying it down. He's one of the fastest guys lately, lap time-wise, 54.8 that time around, 56.9 for Cohenauer, who made another mistake. So Janice has a little bit of life, but he's got 6 seconds to make up in 1 lap.
So Janice entered the evening 9th in points. Cohenauer entered the evening 6th in points.
Oh, Schmidt is down
Schmidt's
and off
down.
the racetrack.
Cohenauer's going to go through. Can Schmidt get going before Janice gets
On
there?
the bike, but he's off the track. He's got to be careful with this
Look at
track
this
re-entry as Janice goes
Holy cow, Schmidt gets back on right next to Janice. Oh, and he's going to go down. Oh, he stays on 2 wheels.
Goes for the kill in the absolute stupidest position you could put yourself in.
Yeah, just rushed that a little bit, as taking the win going to the main event is going to be Prokop. Batchelor going to go through. Cohenauer looks safe, and Janice now has a nice gap. He looks like he will be safe. He got saved by the bell that is Tyler Schmidt on the last lap. Way to not give up if you're the 24. Sigh of relief to be in the main event for both Cohenauer and Janice, barely getting in. Top 10 in points. Unfortunately, their teammate, of course, Race Carwin, not going to the show is, I would say, a big story. Top 10 in points.
A lot of
Second
praise
week in a
for
row.
your teammates there, Chris.
What?
A lot of praise for your teammates there.
Well, I'm just saying they're top 10 in points, guys. Right? I mean, if anyone needs praise, it's Prokop, because he absolutely dominated that race. And Batchelor, I would say, is this that snuck in with a solid ride in second. It looked a little sketchy early on, smoothed out and rode extremely well.
Pour one out for Jeremy Shipley, who last year was absolutely a championship contender and usually is in this series, and thus far has had an awful series. And again, misses out tonight here in Minneapolis.
In my mouth?
I'm actually surprised that Schmidt made a mistake in that situation. Just he's usually in those positions, he's so solid. And
I just can't believe the move where he just decided that if he ran into the back of Matthias Janice, how that was going to help his cause.
Yeah, I think if he would have waited one more turn, if he would have just ducked in behind, he knows Janice is going to go to the outside. He probably could have absolutely blew him up in that turn and been just fine.
Yeah.
But I mean, you're panicking in that situation.
Guess,
you know, it's last lap, last transfer.
Well, you can't.
Your brain shuts off a little bit. You got to be able to slow your brain down a little bit. That's what the best guys do. But unfortunately, Schmidt not able to get it done. But I stand by what I said. He's still one of my favorite people.
Decent ride, and he's a flagger at Englishtown. Let's not forget.
He is.
Ethan Parks with a solid ride on the SYS bike in 6th. His first 450 appearance of the year, correct?
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah, he's been racing 250 West. So,
Trying to.
Unfortunately, some of these guys going to go home a little unhappy. But now the fields are set for tonight's main events here in Minneapolis. Opening round of the 250 East Series coming up next. We're going to find out who's going to take that red plate into round number 2 of the series next week.
Any predictions from you guys? I have no idea what to think about this 250 class, even from the heat races, other than maybe the Activeco guys, Eaglin and Tyler Lang looked really strong and solid in their heat races.
Yeah, I was going to go the same route. Honestly, I had Tyler Lang as my pick this evening, and I don't think I can go away from that after seeing what I saw in the heat race. Yeah, he coughed it up late to Eaglin, but those guys are both flying right now.
I mean, did you guys just forget about that dominating performance that Logan Leitzel had in the first heat?
True.
I can't say good things about Logan. I'm not allowed. By the way, can I say what's up to former champion Mikey Owen subscribing in chat?
I did see that. Mike Owen joining us in chat this evening. 250
Coolest
West
Australian ever to play the game.
250 West champion the same year that the man that joined us.
Take issue with that.
That's okay. I stand by what I said.
All right, Alex Effort's saying 100 bits for a correct hole shot.
We got 3 trends to get the 100 bits here, though. Who do we got? Let's watch the warm-up start. Who gets good jumps? Eaglin? Who's the 44? I cannot remember.
Stanley Steamer. Bryce Whelan just ripped the warm-up start. Leitzel hole shot his heat race.
Yes, he did.
I got to go Danny Boy. He's always my guy on starts. He's a great starter, so I'm going D Mills.
I haven't even seen anybody yet, so I'm gonna wait.
Oh, should I be given a lineup? Logan Leitzel, Bryce Stanley Steamer Whelan, Daniel Mills, Dakota French, Gustavo Denise, Alex Carlo, Gunnar Fugler, Isaiah Dickerson, Eduardo Sibos, Jacob Hubbard, Colby Eagland, Clement Lana, Edward Mora, Josh Williams, Neil Wells, Noah Baker, Clement Lana already said, Tyler Lang, Phil Bowl, Payson Johnson, Dylan Copeland is the 44, by the way, and that is your field. First main event of the year, 250 East.
I'm gonna go with Gunnar Fugler hole shot.
I got T Lang.
All right, so we got T Lang, Danny Boy, and Fugler. Woo!
All right, ladies and gentlemen, it is time for the 250 East Series to get underway and find out who is going to be our next 250 Series champion here in MX Simulator. It all starts right now. Minneapolis is the stage. Who's going to win the 250 East Series? It starts with round number 1 tonight, and it's live on SYS TV. Let's drop the gate.
Trent Adams with a banging start from the outside gate. Is he going to be able to pull this off? He's deep into turn 1, to the berm. The 323 is going to hole shot his first ever pro race.
Nobody would have guessed that, and Adams goes for the big send line.
Right now.
Dickerson
Isaiah
to the lead.
Dickerson.
Oh, and Adams gets plows into by, that's Daniel Mills that got into him.
Eagland and Whelan are in the 2 and 3 spots. Josh Williams out of the LCQ with a great start, and Logan Leitzel, our other heat winner, is battling it out inside the top 5 with Gustavo Denise.
But it's Isaiah Dickerson, MV Films' own, with the early lead. Dickerson just trying to get his first career Supercross win if he can. Blew an easy win last year, I should say, at the Las Vegas showdown. And that would have been his first career win. Oh, he's off the track. Trying to get going. Doesn't want a lane shot. Oh, my goodness. Almost ends up into Bryce Whelan.
The pressure is on now. Whelan to the inside early. Shows him a wheel. Gets the door slammed shut.
Battle for the lead. Lap number 2 in Minneapolis. Oh, Whelan down. Oh, my goodness. And Eaglin plows in.
Josh Williams got into it. Clement Lana has slid up into the top 5 as well. Logan Leitzel in 4th. Whelan giving chase right now to Josh Williams for that 2 spot as a small lead is out for Dickerson at the moment.
Oh, Williams and Leitzel down. Williams stayed up somehow but lost a spot to Whelan in the process. Deniz and Hubbard are both up here. Lana right behind them, and it's Whelan moving into the 2 ride.
Josh Williams known to be pretty aggressive, correct? Am I correct on that?
Known to be what, sorry?
Pretty aggressive?
Can be. Definitely is just
I believe so.
Blazing
He's
fast.
obviously crazy fast, for sure. These guys both, Whelan and Williams, two of our fastest qualifiers. They're going to try to close that gap, and it looks like it is shrinking to our leader, Dickerson. The top three have set sail. Clement Lana, a good run going here in fourth early on, and Jacob Hubbard rounds out your top five.
So it's Dickerson from Whelan and Williams, our three leaders. A little bit of breathing room out front, all kind of equidistant apart from each other.
Ooh, nice word.
Oh, Whelan mistake. Coughs up the two spot, back to Williams, doesn't get the finish line jump, so here comes Lana. Down the inside, Lana going, no, thinks better of it.
Lana checked up quite a bit. I think he definitely could have capitalized on that. Maybe playing a little conservative here early in the race with a good run going. A top five at the opener is not a bad performance for any of these guys. Jacob Hubbard in fifth has made a mistake. He's not going to be jumping the triple. Here comes Diniz jumping over the top of him.
How about it for Gustavo Diniz, the Brazilian rider, putting in a great ride here. His teammate Leitzel right behind him.
Leitzel's definitely someone we're going to have to keep an eye on for this championship battle. I feel like he has the experience and the speed at this point to contend. Who we haven't seen, and we find him now actually back in the number 8 spot, is Tyler Lang. And Colby Eaglin battling with him. It seems like last year that's all these guys did was train around together. They're just missing their buddy Devin Ryan.
And Leitzel's going to make the pass on Diniz there. So like you said, Lang back here with Eagland, Edward Mora, Alex Carlo, Copeland, Noah Baker getting together with Daniel Mills. So a lot of guys that probably think they could have won this opener find themselves absolutely buried, and it's still Dickerson leading 4 minutes in.
I think it's going to really come down to mental toughness for Isaiah Dickerson. He has the tools to get this done, but he's made mental mistakes previously, and that's why he doesn't have a win yet. We'll see if he can pull this off. Josh Williams, though, not someone to be playing around with. He has a lot of speed, and he's not far off. He's about 5 seconds back. Dickerson's actually opened it up just a little bit, and Whelan's going to continue to push Williams as well.
I'm trying to rack my brain here. Whelan may be the only guy in this class. No, Mills also has a win too. But Whelan has won a 450 Supercross race before in this game.
Transmoto 49, always a favorite when he lines up if he's focused. Just depends on how seriously he's taking things. Sometimes he does better when he's not quite as focused as well, I've seen.
Exactly. I think that a more smooth and fluid Whelan is the one that we're looking to see in this series. And right now he looks like he's getting a little into his head here as he makes another mistake. Here comes Clement Lana.
We had a mistake from Dickerson, and the lead is shrinking. And now it just jumped back up as Williams makes a mistake. Here comes Whelan now all over him. And Lana is right there. Lana playing this consistent game, it looks like, very well. Great performance early on here from the 252 machine as we're 5 minutes into this thing.
Whelan really just putting that pressure down on Williams, and it is tightened this battle real quickly that they both made big mistakes. Dickerson now with some breathing room again.
Track going to start to deteriorate, and they're going to start getting into lappers. A pretty short lap time this week, plus the road being turned up. It's going to break down more than we've seen all year, I'm sure.
He's going to get this rhythm lane the smoothest. Looks like they both actually hit it pretty nicely. Little mistake from Williams. Look at Whelan just putting all kinds of pressure on him. Where does he make the move?
Ooh, he got really high in the berm. You got to be careful. These berms kind of give away just a little bit at the top. You don't want to wash the front end out over the top. Because that first jump of that rhythm looks like it's really already starting to deteriorate, making the double in a little bit challenging to get enough pop to get the height to get to that landing. Whelan looks like he has a little more speed than Josh Williams right now as he closed right back up, and he makes a big mistake. Here comes Lana.
Man, Lana's just been sitting here lurking, waiting for that mistake to happen, and now he's all over the back of Whelan. Give a quick shout out to Scooty Puff Jr. and his raid gang showing up in chat, hanging out with us here tonight. Round number 6 of MotoOption SX from Minneapolis. Oh, Lana down. Stays on 2 wheels. Leitzel. Oh, Lang down too, over the bars. So Fugler going by, Mora going by, Eaglin going by, Diniz going by, Hubbard going by, Copeland going by, and finally Lang gets going. He might get Copeland back. Not quite though.
Ooh, that was close. He's gonna
Oh, down.
That was just rushing it a little bit there for Tyler Lang, trying to get back going a little too quickly after the crash. Made a mistake on his own there. Hubbard has dropped back to the 9th spot. He was running in 5th for quite a while. Must have had a mistake.
Wow, Eaglin down as well. Loses 3 spots with one slight little tip over there. As Hubbard, Deniz, and Mora all going through. This freight train is really packed tight here. Deniz a mistake. Hubbard trying to close up. Eaglin's in there. We got Carlo and Copeland all battling it out.
We just hit the halfway point of the race. I think it's time for one of those versus PC.com top 10 rundowns as Isaiah Dickerson continues to lead the way. Josh Williams on the Everhood Chapman Training Facility, number 69, runs in the number 2 spot. Bryce Whelan, Transmoto, runs in 3rd. Great run going for Clement Lana on the 2.52 in 4th. Logan Leitzel is charging in the 5 spot aboard the 2.6s. He's actually just put Fugler a lap down, somebody I expected to be up front. Edward Moore on the 40 slides in the number 6 ride. Alex Carlo Evergood, number 8-1, runs in the 7 spot. Here comes Tyler Lang on the Active Co. 18 and 8th. Hubbard in 9th as they're putting Phil Bull a lap down. No, that is your 9th and 10th place battle. Phil Bull down the inside. And that has been your VersusPC.com top 10 rundown. And we didn't do a VersusPC.com one to watch because I think everyone's the one to watch here at the first round of 250 East. Log on VersusPC.com and go buy some stuff to upgrade your computer so you can make this game look better.
I think it's going to help.
Wow, shots fired.
All these guys are just in an
Hey, I'm not here for the
absolute
looks of
freight
the
train.
game, bro.
So right now, Klubine in 15th is right behind Johnson, Copeland, Deniz, Eaglin, Bull, Hubbard. They're all together. Hubbard down actually at the front of this train in 9th. And as mentioned,
one mistake and you just drop so many spots. The racing is so close right now.
so Klubine,
Oh my gosh, Jacob Hubbard just threw one of the biggest whips I've ever seen. I'm sorry that you probably didn't catch that on stream, but shout out to Jacob Hubbard for getting absolutely dirty mid-race.
so right now it's still Dickerson leading. Looks like Williams just getting back on the track from an off-track excursion. Lana 3rd, Whelan 4th, Leitzel 5th, and Mora right behind Leitzel in 6th. Carlo, Lang 7th and 8th, Bull 9th, and then this freight train, Eaglin, Copeland together, Klubine not too far behind them.
Ooh, Lapper's down in the corner for Dickerson. He's got to negotiate. And I was just looking, his fast lap's a 54.8, which is a steamer, but he ran a 54.9 last time around as well. So Dickerson laying some speed down. He's got a gap, but he's got a lapper that won't quite let him go, but he is also battling with someone, so...
I'm not sure I've ever heard someone refer to a steamer as that being a good thing.
You don't know Stanley Steamer Bryce Whelan very well then.
I guess.
Dickerson's still trying to go around a lapper.
That's Payson Johnson on the 351. Can't get him,
Now
and he's going to get tripled
landed
over.
on. Could this
Deniz.
be the mental edge that Williams needs to upset Dickerson? As we've talked about, the mental toughness has been an issue for him. Is it getting him angry, losing focus as he's trapped with lappers right now? Losing a ton of time. He had a 15-second lead. It's down to 10 seconds, and he still has not gotten around Payson Johnson here.
Yeah, just lapped Jack Klubine. That's still Payson Johnson on the 351, just ahead of him.
Yeah, I think Johnson was actually getting ready to let him by, and Dickerson made a mistake.
Now Carlo lets him go. Johnson's picking up tons of spots for what it's worth.
Yeah, using the blue bar to his advantage. At the same point, it's definitely got to be distracting to Dickerson nonetheless, although it doesn't look like he's really holding him up at the moment.
Payson Johnson, I think he actually beat him in the heat.
Like I said,
Pretty
Payson
fast.
Johnson was actually moving out of the way when Dickerson made his mistake as well. And it looks like he's actually pulling over here as well. He tried to let him by a lap ago here, but Dickerson made a mistake.
Oh, he almost gets into him.
Whoa!
Wow.
What is he doing now?
And finally,
Let's go again, or is he
Dickerson
going to jump
goes.
back in and try to race with them again? Keep an eye on this one.
Braden Carter in chat proclaiming that he needs to be kicked.
so finally Dickerson makes a move, but the damage has been done. Williams has actually tightened this thing up a good bit, down to 6.7 seconds. Last time by, Dickerson 59.5 in that lap traffic. This is going to get tight here.
It's down
as we
to
close
7
down.
seconds. So in the last lap, he lost half his lead. And that's going to make him nervous, but we are 12 minutes in, so not a ton of racing left to go. Hopefully now he's got a little bit of a clear track. He can regroup. If you're an Isaiah Dickerson fan, you want to see him grab this win. But I guarantee Josh Williams has some burners left in him, and he's going to try to close this thing up.
Yeah, Williams just made a small mistake after the whoops that probably cost him a couple seconds in time. Whelan not close enough to capitalize on it.
Battle for fourth is starting to heat up. Logan Leitzel has started to reel in Clement Lana, who is still solidly in that number 4 position.
Yeah, Lana's a workhorse out here. The rider from France, Lana's actually been on the podium several times in this 250 East division in the past.
Oh, Leitzel just about went head over heels over bars. Oh, a mistake from Lana.
It's really tightening up. Leitzel's not going to get the Supercross triple, though.
Intense battle right behind these guys as well as Lang and Mora are doing battle. They go into the triple.
It's a good recovery ride for Lang after that crash.
Man, he has that inside line dialed, and he has a good one here at the end of this rhythm as well. I've noticed he's probably the best guy in this 250 class about going across those flat insides in the 90s, as Mora almost gets T-boned by a lapper in that turn. Oh, Dickerson just missed the triple as I went back to him in the lead. Looking at the last lap around, 55.3 for Dickerson, 57.8 for Williams. So Dickerson opened it back up a little bit, up to 11-second gap. We're getting down to the final laps of the 250 East opener. Leitzel and Lana doing battle still over the 4 spot. A mistake from Lana, a bigger mistake from Leitzel.
And Lapper's in the mix. Deniz getting in front of Leitzel, but Leitzel's still able to triple. Look at Lana, puts Deniz on the ground.
Sketchy section right there for these 250 guys especially. And there's a Lapper down and Lana barely gets through.
He's trying to hang on. Here's Lang now. He's made the move on Mora. We got Eaglin still back here. Phil Bull is down, so he's getting lapped right now by your race leader, Isaiah Dickerson. There's just all kinds of chaos going on. Dickerson did not get the Supercross triple again.
Oh, he's straight air and how did he save that?
Switched on to him
that
just
race
as he
suspension
had.
dialed in right now. That's all. He is going to cross the line just before the 15-minute mark, I believe. They're going to make it 2 to go.
Yeah, that's going to be really close, looking at about 15 seconds to go. He's just going to get there. 10 seconds
down
now.
To 7 seconds. 7.9. And he's going to have 2 to go.
Yep,
just
crosses
barely.
14:58 over the line, just barely, as time now expires.
Should have pulled over and let it happen.
Whew. Makes me nervous when these guys are tripling down into that turn. He finally gets the
there's a
Supercross
rider
triple.
down on the backside of the triple.
Dickerson looks pretty loose still out front watching him.
He dealt with that Lapper situation beautifully. He just bided his time and waited for it. Hasn't made too many mistakes all race. I don't see why an extra lap would be anything terrible for him. Unless, something.
Well, Williams actually has a group of 3 lappers right in front of him that he has to deal with as well. I believe at this point, Dickerson's going to control his own race with a lap and a whoop section to go.
There are so many lappers around Josh Williams that he is dealing with. He's trying to get around Eduardo Simos on the 51. I think that's maybe Trent Adams just ahead of them.
I've seen Adams being a great lapper tonight. Shout out to him jumping into this pro class. I've watched him pull all the way out of the way multiple times for these guys. Way to be respectful as the white flag is out for your leader. 9-second gap. Can Dickerson hold on for one more lap?
Well, this is the same scenario we saw Dickerson in last time he raced a 250 Supercross in Race Factor Gaming competition, or I should say in pro racing competition. He had a win locked up at the 250 Showdown in Las Vegas last year, went into the final corner with the win in his grasps, and completely tucked the front end, fall off crash, lost the race. First victory of his career out the door. Redeeming himself tonight, though, is going to be a first step. Oh,
it's his teammate.
Goes around the lapper and the whoops, but here it is. The first career win awaits. Final corner, and the 25 machine of Isaiah Dickerson wins the Supercross in Minneapolis.
He lapped 8th place. Tyler Lang coming around a nice solid ride. out of the LCQ on the 69. Josh Williams going to get solid points here at the East Coast opener. Bryce Wheeling going to land on the podium on the Transmoto number 49, also out of the LCQ. So way to manage the night for these guys, getting on the podium, getting solid points. Logan Leitzel all the way back to a 4th place spot after some early mishaps. And Clement Lana, a great performance, comes around in the top 5 aboard the 252. Great ride, Clement Lana.
Edward Mora going to bring it home in the 6th spot here on the 40. Good way to start his season. And Eaglin maybe a little disappointed, thought he could win tonight. But at an opening round, 7th place points, maybe not too bad for a guy we expect to contend in this championship.
Everyone else a lap down. Coming around in 8th was Tyler Lang, Dylan Copeland 9th, and Alex Carlo rounded out your top 10. So a great opener here in this 250 East class, and I guess now that Dickerson has finally won, maybe we could quit talking about Las Vegas, which he would love.
He definitely does not like reliving that moment, and now we can put it behind him. His first career victory here in Minneapolis, and he has got to be stoked. All right. Well, round number 1 of the East Series is behind us. After cuts, nothing changed in that top 10 as we mentioned. Dickerson, Williams, Whelan on the podium at the opener. And coming up next, round number 6 of the 450 Series from Minneapolis. And we're going to find out who's going to take that next step towards the championship. Can Leclerc get his first win of the season? Can Siebel rebound after missing the main event last week and get a win? Or can Jack Haley extend his points lead? It's time to find out here in Minneapolis. Interesting
those things happen.
Interesting to see how the road developed in this 250 main event,
Some
Chris.
big old ruts out there.
What do you think of the road development, Chris?
I'm looking at the transitions in the corners. Honestly, that's what I'd like to focus on. Trying to make better. I don't think it's overly challenging by any means. Get affected by the road a lot more. The 450 kind of tracks through it, more plows through it with more weight on the bike, I guess, or more traction because they're not spinning as much. For whatever reason, they seem to handle it a good bit better, although they dig it out a lot deeper. So I definitely think that it's more East Coast, which I'm happy about. But we're going to see 5 more minutes of racing in this 450 class, and it could get pretty gnarly, I think, by the end of it.
So we have a question in chat asking how far back in the standings is Siebold after missing the main event last week. He is actually 17 points down in the series. Jack Haley, taking the win in San Diego, moved into the points lead on 115 points. 11 back of him is Jeremy Smith, and 16 back of that, or I should say 17 back of that is Alexis Leclerc, and 18 back of that is Jeremy Siebold.
Damn, Einstein, take her easy. With that hot math, or you got a different chart than I got.
Oh, I should probably do a rundown. Siebold, Gebhardt, Turley, Solis, Blakely, Massart, Davis, Janice, Richards, Deering, Leak, Honeywell, Carter, Prokop, Hughes, Tiberino, Leclerc, Haley, Cohenauer, Smith, Holm, Bachelet are your field here in the 450 class from Minneapolis. It's East Coast time, baby. Second piece of the championship. We're out of the California Series / Arizona.
Well, I'm probably going to get this massively wrong because every time I make any bets of any kind, or I guess try to win bits in this case, I'm going to go with Alexis Leclerc for the whole shot. I mean, this sounds like the easiest $20 I've ever heard of, but we'll see. I guess maybe he could blow it for me.
I'm pretty sure
whole shot and win.
Wow, home whole shot and win. Hot takes.
Is going to be getting the whole shot in this one, guys.
Who'd you say, Spencer Turley?
Yes, Spencer Turley.
Okay, Spencer Turley.
Hot take. Say, "What's up, my dudes?" and leave the gate, and everyone else is going to be like saying "What's up," and he's gone to the first turn. Is that what's going down?
Hot take, Chris. Hot takes. Saying
even after his heat race was absolute garbage. I'm still saying.
Oh boy, this is going to be
What do you mean garbage. He qualified.
This is going to be
all the MV Films riders.
An incredible race here at Minneapolis. 22 riders on the gate, 20 minutes plus 1 lap ahead of them, and round number 6 will be in the books. Let's find out who wins in Minneapolis. It's time to go racing. Race Factory Gaming SX round number 6. Dropping that gate now.
Leclerc's got a good jump, but Jeremy Smith right inside of him.
Leclerc goes to the
outside.
Leclerc hole shot.
Richards right there.
Just beat Craig Richards to the line. And it's Leclerc leading from Richards.
Gebhardt, Smith in the mix. Janet's out of that LCQ, runs in 5th. Prokop also out of the LCQ. Good start. So pretty fair start here, I would say. Timorino was obviously great in this heat race. Also up there, and 250 rider Braden Carter just put down Dade Honeywell. Leclerc is off to the races out front. Can Richards hold pace? Our 250 West points leader.
No, well, Siebel and Holm 9-10 right now. Thank you, Modified and Alex Efforts, for donating the 1,000 bits. I actually felt bad because I felt that was a rather easy pick as Leclerc for a hole shot. But I appreciate it, guys, for nonetheless supporting and joining us here on the stream tonight.
I thought Turley was a sure thing.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what's not a sure thing is that Jack Haley right now is in dead last, 22nd over the line, lap number 1, your points leader.
Did he miss a gate? He had to have missed a gate. He's in the middle of the pack.
This is big news if true. Jack Haley.
Yeah, too many gates, whatever it is. Yeah, he's in the middle of the pack.
Shows him 22nd.
This is bad.
Wow, this is not good at all. Minus 46 seconds on 21st place right now for Jack Haley. He had to have missed a gate. Let's see where, if he did miss a gate, it's already clicking through. Yeah,
like, did he miss the finish line or something?
Blue flag waving now. Well, it seemed as though that the timing was going down before the finish line, so I'd have to imagine he missed gates before the finish line. This is very, very big news, though, because he is going to have a huge uphill battle ahead of him
as well. So
very interesting turn of events. So for those of you new to MotoOption SX racing, as we had Matthias Janis down there in the corner, there are timing gates scattered around this track, and if you miss enough of them, you will no longer be scored. You will have to go back and find the nearest timing gate that you hit last and go through it before timing and scoring will update. So if Haley missed enough timing gates on that opening lap, even if he crossed the finish line, it doesn't matter. He's missed enough timing gates to lose scoring from where he was last on the track. So basically, he's gone a whole lap down as he was just in the middle of the pack fighting with those guys, not realizing what was happening. And once he hit the timing gates where he went off the track the first time, the next lap through, he was already a lap down and now finds himself in dead last trying to fight forward for points.
Now keep in mind, these guys have been able to lap up near the top 10 in the field multiple times, and this is a shorter lap time than most racetracks. So if Haley can keep his head and just put his head down and put in a great performance, he can salvage a lot of points.
I can say it's not going well for him so far.
The short lap time can benefit him, but I'm sure he's freaking out a little bit right now.
You can say that.
So it's still Leclerc leading. Gebhardt now second. Jeremy Smith is third. And just like Leclerc, Jeremy Smith, who sits second in the championship standings, is still looking for his first win of the season. Thus far, the only two riders that have won races all year long are Jack Haley and Jeremy Seabolt. Jeremy Smith, Alexis Leclerc, Adam Holm have not won races yet this year, and they're trying to change that here tonight.
I feel like this is a track that will suit Jeremy Smith. Gebhardt has been really solid all night long, all the way from qualifying to his heat race. Don't sleep on the 13 running in the 2 spot.
And a new team, maybe feeling a little bit fresher, more comfortable. Sometimes even just getting
brought the fun back a little bit, you know, having new guys to play with. And
right.
Usually that's what happens. I just saw Holm in the background, down in the corner, out of the number 4 spot. But to finish that point, usually you join a team with guys that you play with a lot and you enjoy playing with a lot. So maybe just making the game fun again is what's allowed him to maybe play a little bit more, put more laps down. That's why we're seeing the increased speed here from Gebhardt.
Well, another thing I was going to say is even just the idea of a new fender to look at, something different, gives you a little bit kind of more confidence that you got a new fresh look on, something different than what you've been running for the last few weeks. I don't know if it makes a huge difference, but yeah, feel good, ride good, exactly.
And right now he's riding great, but out front Leclerc's riding even better, stretching it out. Last time around, 54.1 for Leclerc, but a 53.2 from Gebhardt.
Similar lap times. I'm going to be interested to see as this race develops whether or not if Leclerc finds himself in trouble and loses the lead again, because he's been in this circumstance so many times and lost the lead before, whether or not he starts busting out that big triple quad line that we saw in the heat race, or does he just kind of stick with his standard lines and try to get back into this race if he does lose it again?
We have seen lappers have been an issue for Leclerc throughout the season. Shorter lap time, as I keep bringing up over and over again, will be more of an issue on this track than others. That usually is where Jeremy Smith, I feel like, is very strong, is being able to maintain consistency through those challenging situations. Tiberino and Siebel have a battle going on right now for the 4 spot. Nice run going here for Tiberino. He seems to be gelling with this track tonight. A nice run in his heat race, and now running up here in the top 5 in the main event for the Prestige Worldwide, number 7-7.
Siebel, another guy. I was going to say, Siebold is another guy that was also busting that big line out here. I didn't see him do it just now, but of course, he has it in his back pocket. Wow, he just railed that
Dragon's back.
Yep, inside move, makes the move on Tiberino.
Aggressive but clean. I mean, luckily Tiberino is a veteran racer and knew not to turn down into him once he felt him on the inside.
So definitely a good turnaround thus far for Siebold.
Change up
Marvin
the front of the
Musquin. Oh, Leclerc! Walter Gebhardt has gone to the front. Alexis Leclerc has gone down somewhere. Oh my goodness, server lag. Or was that just me that was seeing that?
No, it definitely was a server lag, and Gebhardt hit it at the perfect time. He was actually in the air on the triple, so it didn't really affect him much. Smith had to double the triple. Leclerc's dropped to the 3 spot. We'll have to keep an eye on that and see if it happens again or if there's a one-time little hiccup.
So Leclerc, I did notice that lap. Maybe it's just because he's being cautious with the server lag, but still not going for the big triple quad line in the first rhythm lane, despite losing the lead. So maybe just trying to have a smooth, collected ride. He's not that far out of the championship points, having not won a race yet this year, but obviously wants to get that first win clicked off if he can. But how about it? Walter Gebhardt, Active Co., new team this week, out front leading here in Minneapolis, 7 minutes in, trying to get his first win of the season if he can.
He turned really low in that corner after the finish line. I was just going to ask you if you see anything different about Gebhardt that he's doing this week that's allowed him to pick up the pace as he gets absolutely chopped off by the lapper. Wow, the 86 machine just absolutely chopped his front end. That's Bachelot, I believe.
Yeah, that was a very close one. I don't know how Gebhardt, he just kind of slid off that single, and Leclerc has gone down again. Leclerc down, loses a spot to Siebold. May lose a spot to Holm. No, Holm not quite able to get there just yet, but definitely closes it up. We're going to have to keep an eye on this. These two guys do not like each other whatsoever. The battle between the two of them came down to the final corner in the outdoor series in 2018, and since then they have just been hitting each other every week, it seems. Look at Holm throwing it down the inside.
It's going in after the whoops for sure.
Here it is, down the inside, Holm. Wow, I don't know how they didn't make contact.
I honestly feel like this rivalry is hurting Holm's performances. He seems more focused on ruining Leclerc's race than riding his own.
I would have to agree there, because I think that Holm has maybe found himself in spots that were not ideal just because he went after Leclerc a few times this year already.
Let's keep an eye also at the end of the rhythm section after the finish where they're triple singling into the corner. There's a lot of braking bumps forming before that single already early in the race. We're not even to the halfway point. I think they're going to be landing in those, and it's going to cause issues later in the race if they don't change up their line.
How about Massart and Kohenauer going at it here behind Adam Holm? These two have
strong
just been locked
performance
together,
from the 223. Oh, Kohenauer almost over the bars, out the back, actually, not over the bars, and off the racetrack, so it'll lose some time. Nice run from Prokop here, running in the 8th spot. Tiberino has settled into 9th, and Blakely rounds out your top 10. But out front, it is all the 13 of Gebhardt. And he makes a mistake, almost goes down, but he holds it together.
At the other end of the pack, Jack Haley has advanced. He's only 23 seconds behind 21st place now.
Yikes,
and
this
half
is
the
not
race
good.
left to go. I think once he gets up to last, though, he's going to start clicking off some positions.
Problem.
Go ahead. I was just going to say the battle for second, is heating up. Seabold is definitely reeling in Smith. Smith's made a couple mistakes. Not big ones. Typical Jeremy Smith fashion. He makes a mistake, but he usually manages them quite well.
I was going to say the kind of inherent problem Haley has faced now is from the beginning of the race on, he has had to kind of adhere to the blue flag. I mean, he has been a lapper since lap 1. And so he can't really.
In that situation, you're just going to throw caution to the wind unless the actual leaders are coming around you. But when you're racing with those guys, you are. I think he has the right, given that it's just essentially a glitch or a bug. I'm assuming he didn't intentionally cut 3 timing gates and scoring on the first lap.
But nonetheless, it still makes it a difficult situation to be in because you don't want to actually take out riders that you're essentially being lapped by. Maybe get penalized. We saw. A rider this past week actually get penalized for taking out a leader as a lapper, so obviously want to keep that under wraps.
A rider? Who do you ride for?
A team.
I want you guys to keep an eye. Watch the Dragons back. Both Gebhardt and Seabold are carrying a lot of speed over that thing compared to everyone else that I've seen thus far. I'm not sure what it looks like they're jumping out of the corner a little better.
Look at Seabold going down the inside of Smith. And he gets the spot on him. So Smith, having his issues, loses the spot to Seabold. Now Seabold's going to try to set sail after our 2 leaders if he can, or our leader, I should say, Walter Gebhardt. Man, oh man, what a turnaround week this could be for Jeremy Seabold after missing the main event at San Diego. He'd won the previous 3 rounds before that and then missed the main at San Diego. Could you imagine? He comes back here at Minneapolis and puts it on the top step of the podium again. That would be insane.
Also, notice Seabold, every lap he's tripling through the whoop section. He's actually jumping on Marvin Musquin style instead of trying to get up on top.
Oh, thanks, Rush.
Seabold running 52.8s right now to a 52.9 at Gebhardt. Gebhardt actually just put his fastest lap of the race, and he's run down on a 52.9, so he stepped it up a little bit. I also noticed that this track, the way that it's deteriorating and the ruts that are forming, seems to actually be getting a little bit faster. These guys are hitting marks that are just smooth, consistent corners. These guys are just bigger berms, essentially.
A lot of lappers right now in front of Gebhardt that he's trying to navigate through.
Oh!
And he makes some little mistake. I feel like Gebhardt's extremely comfortable out front, though.
Gonna get
he's got a lapper racing around
Carter. Yeah, Braden Carter
it.
unlaps himself there. So Gebhardt had to take it easy. Seabold closes in a little bit more. 12.5 minutes into this 20-minute plus 1 lap race.
Another mistake from Gebhardt. Just as I said, it felt like he was pretty comfortable in the lead, but I feel like he's going to be able to regroup as he's going off the racetrack. I'm going to quit talking about Gebhardt because I want to see him get this done.
Still has Braden Carter right behind him, but Seabold is on a mission right now from the 2 spot. Just taking chunks of time away now from Gebhardt, who's continuing to make those small mistakes up front in between the lappers.
Really risky line Seabold's taking into that split first rhythm. He's using only about half the bigger lip to double in. He's staying out of the ruts, but he's barely getting the height over that double, and he clips it. There's riders down in front of him.
Yep, that was, I believe, Braden Carter together with Copeland, maybe, I think that was. One of the riders.
A little bit of clearer track now for Gebhardt for a little bit, so now he's going to be able to open it up. 54.6 that time around, 53.6, so a whole second comes off his lead. Jeremy Smith lurking right there as well, a 54.8 for him last time around. Ooh, acceleration chop going up to that triple. I just saw Gebhardt lighten up the tire. We're past the halfway point. While this battle is maybe shaping up for the lead, top 10 rundown time. This one brought to you by MotoOption Clothing, MotoOption.com. Go get some sick custom stuff or some of their sick t-shirts, MotoOption.com. Walter Gebhardt leads the way with a great performance aboard the number 13 Active Co machine. Nice patience there in the corner watching the lapper go down on the inside of him. He's coming up to lap Mr. Spencer Turley next time. He's going to probably say, "What's up, my dude?" on his way by. Seabold runs in the number 2 spot with pressure from Jeremy Smith on the number 4. Not that far behind, but a lot of lappers in between them. Alexis Sinclair has stabilized his performance back in the number 4 spot. Adam Holm runs in 5th, about 10 seconds back. Nice ride here going for LCQ winner Zach Prokop on the 38 Prestige Worldwide. Ride in the 6th spot. And then comes Chase Blakely. our top 250 performer at this moment, coming out of that West region. Nice run here for the 16 BPC machine. Janice got that last transfer spot. Solid top 10 right now here in the 8th spot aboard the number 24. Then comes Kohenauer to the ground. So he actually got passed by Haley there, but not for position. Kohenauer going to drop a spot to, guess what? Rounding out the top 10. What's up, my dude, Spencer Turley. Andrew Messart also went by in the 9 spot. And these guys are going a lap down right now inside the top 10. And that's been your MotoOption Clothing Top 10 Rundown, MotoOption.com.
I'm going to take a peek back. Jack Haley has made his way into 19th. He is 37 seconds behind Ash Deering. I don't know if he'll go much farther than this at this point. Huge night here for Jack Haley. This is going to swap the points lead, no doubt. It may actually give Jeremy Smith the points lead, I think, as they run, and Smith still has yet to win a race all year long.
Doing it for Tim Ferry out there.
Consistency wins championships. That's what they say, anyways. Never won one. Well, I mean, the local freaking Joe Schmo racetrack series doesn't count, right?
So it's still Salty Walty Gebhardt out front, 16 minutes into this 20-minute plus 1 lap race, so 4 minutes and a lap to go. Seabolt second. Smith has an absolute freight train behind him, and they're all crashing in the whoops right now.
And that's what separates him from Leclerc, which is that final podium spot where Smith is sitting. So Smith maybe has a little bit of breathing room to try to race forward right now, see if he can track down Seabolt and Gebhardt. But Gebhardt's super solid right now out front.
I think I just saw Spencer Turley, who we did see in 10th, down, and he's now 18th. So Turley...
There was a huge freight train, and I was looking back to see what Haley could get done. If he can catch up to the next rider in front of him, which he's 40 seconds down on, and it is Turley, he has an opportunity to make up a lot of spots.
Well, that gap's about to go down because Turley was down at the end of this whoop section. I think it's closer to about 20-something seconds now. Let's see. Next corner, 22 seconds. Yeah, so... This definitely could tighten up here for Haley, maybe to get a few crucial more points towards this championship. And Davis was down. Turley trying to get up to him. Turley making mistakes. They're getting lapped actually by Holm and Leclerc, who are together. Look at Holm. Thought he was thinking inside there. How about after the whoops? Does he go here again? No, thinking better of it. Leclerc trying to get away.
Getting some braking bumps going into that last corner as well. Keep an eye on.
So Leclerc must have had a mistake because it wasn't like Holm was right behind him at this point. They definitely tightened up a little bit. Leclerc still going for the Huck triple. Got it. Holm looks a little cleaner through this first rhythm lane. Maybe he has a spot sized up that he wants to try to get around Leclerc.
Well, Lapper's definitely helping him out, and now he finally pulls out of the way.
They're both going inside here now, so that outside rut must be kind of killing those guys a little bit, and they're trying to find ways to get out of the main line.
Holm better in the whoops there, it looked like. Just a touch. Watch his braking bumps into the final turn.
Yeah. Holm actually
getting a little unsettled. Holm kind of went around him.
Right, I was going to say Holm went around him. It looks
here
like
he goes
Leclerc
inside.
might be better in the corners. Look at this! Ooh, contact! Adam Holm gets through. Leclerc going to try to fight back. Almost lands on him, and he's going to go down, and he's off the bike. Does Prokop have enough time to get there?
Oh, cross strut for Prokop, but he saves it.
No, it's Leclerc still gets going. He's actually right in front of Turley by the looks of it. And Prokop.
Wow, watch the lead. The lead's down to under 5 seconds. A big mistake from Gebhardt.
He's going to have 2 laps to go next time by, so 3 laps to go currently. Gebhardt and Seabolt. Who is going to win this thing? Nowhere close is Jeremy Smith in third. And as we speculated,
Gebhardt, a big mistake again, saving it. Oh my gosh, sorry to cut you off.
No, not at all. Currently, it looks like the points lead is going to go to Smith. Either way you spin it, even if Seabolt wins this race, Smith would still have the red plate. But Siebold is trying to get up there and maybe win this thing. 2 laps to go. Next time by 15 seconds left on the clock as Gebhardt has already checked in over the line. Siebold 4.4 seconds down, 54.1 to another 54.1 out of Gebhardt actually. So really not much difference despite a mistake from Gebhardt there.
We just hit the 20-minute mark, so it will be white flag next time by. 4 seconds is the gap. Not too many lappers, there's a few, but they're not in a huge group battling at least for Gebhardt to negotiate as one of them pulls right out of the way for him. Nice job.
Gebhardt's still actually going to that outside line. Oh, so is Siebold. So we saw Holm and Leclerc not using that line, but Gebhardt and Siebold still believe that that line is the optimal one through this rhythm lane. 5-second gap right now. Gebhardt checking in. White flag in the air. White flag in the air. Walter Gebhardt. Can he get his first 450 main event win? Oh man, he has got to be just shaking right now. A couple mistakes. Blakely on the 16 behind him. Oh,
Gebhardt's not going to get the triple.
Yeah, and Blakely sends it. Does Gebhardt know he's coming? Oh, fortunately, Blakely not close enough to land on him there. These lappers are got to be making Gebhardt. Right, oh, Siebold down! And that's gonna do it. Gebhardt now should know. Someone should be able to tell him that Siebold has gone down and this victory is surely his. Incredible that they almost lapped Adam Holm, actually. They got pretty close. Blakely is 7th. And they're gonna... Oh, Gebhardt just ran over Devin Davis. Blakely trying to unlap himself, ends up backwards. But how about it? The 13 of Walter Gebhardt comes down and is the winner in Minneapolis. Walter Gebhardt on the 13 takes it. His first ride for Active Co. Ends up on the top step of the podium. Jeremy Siebold second. A great rebound ride after missing the main event last week in San Diego. Right now, go ahead.
Haley is up to 14th place, battling with Holm, who's a lap ahead of him, actually. So Haley has salvaged quite a few points, but he has Spencer Turley breathing down his neck.
This actually makes it a little bit closer, but I believe as they run, it is still Smith who would have your championship lead after this as he crosses the line in 3rd. Haley, we're waiting to see where he finishes. He's obviously right behind Holm, as you said.
That's the 14th position. Looks like he's going to seal the deal here if he doesn't fall down here in the last turn.
And here it is. Haley picks up a 14th, so that, if it stays as is, Jeremy Smith is your new points leader. Walter Gebhardt just won his first race of the season. And a lot of other chaos has happened. And cuts are in. Actually, looks like Holm got around Prokop on cuts. And I think that was it. So, Haley ends up 14th out of this one. And it was... Oh, I think I just got that demo saved. But it was the big winner tonight. Walter Gebhardt taking home the victory. Jeremy Smith, your new points leader. Siebold rebounding this week. Whew, crazy night of racing. Final thoughts, anybody?
I think this is the most unpredictable season I've ever seen. Just full on chaos, and a lot of guys still in contention for this championship. Pretty impressive.
Yeah, I'm excited to see where it goes from here. Mark, you have any closing thoughts for us tonight?
Nah, man, I got nothing.
I got nothing. So Mark is over. But I want to thank every one of you guys for showing up here. Round number 6 of the 2019 Race Factory Gaming SX Series, a MotoOption SX Series here at Minneapolis. Of course, big shout out Race Tech Suspension versus PC, FamMX, MV Films, MXS Lobby. Who am I missing? Tiger Designs. Everybody that's involved here. Reed Meta, Ride 365.
Just all kinds of rad people.
Yeah, tons of rad people that help put on this series. We seriously can't thank you guys enough. It's super awesome what you guys do for us as a little group here of MX Simulator noobs. And round 6 in the books. Fun night of racing here in Minneapolis. And I'm going to head over and do some marble racing with Scooty Pup Jr. I don't know about y'all guys, but again, thanks everybody for joining us. Round 6 in the books. We'll see you guys next week live here on SYS TV. So long for now.